And it appears as though we are live on YouTube, folks. So we did get that going. Good morning, Matt. What is going on? Yeah. Oh, hold on here a second. Hey, Chris. Good morning. I see you on YouTube. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. Stand by, folks. I'll get that chart back up. There we go. We got the chart back up. And okay. All right. Very good. Very good. Very good. Hey, Thorns. Good morning. What in the world? I'll fix it again, Thorns. There we go. Got it. YouTube famous. I don't know that I'm you. I am. I've got 1,300. Um, I know Pete. Pete bought 4 calls at the end of Friday. I know we talked about buying calls. But yeah, yeah. Um, I have 1,384 subscribers on YouTube, which is pretty good. It's not too bad. Um, but yeah. So what we're going to do here in just a minute, folks, is we are going to put some lines. Good morning, Kyle. Good to see you this morning. Um, and again, I'm getting a lot of likes for some reason. So yeah. You have one. Yeah, there's like they just keep on coming. The likes keep on coming on YouTube for some reason. Um, the YouTube famous 920 trader. Yes, two heart. Yes. Okay, folks. Let's go ahead and put some lines on the chart. What do you guys think? I don't think necessarily doing yesterday's high and yesterday's low. Pete did. Pete had 4 calls. I sent him a message this morning at about 5:30. I said, "Man, your calls are going to absolutely print." Um, so yeah, let's figure out one more thing here. All right, guys. I'll wait about 5 or 6 minutes before we put some lines on the chart this morning. But yeah, I mean, as you guys can see from the chart, I mean the United States and China has come to some sort of an agreement on tariffs. Uh, Whereas they were talking about 125, 145% tariffs, and those are gone. Those are gone at least for the short term, which is absolutely a good thing. That is absolutely a good thing. But you can see, I said this a couple weeks ago. I said as soon as the tariffs get done, we're going to go to all-time highs again, and we got all-time highs just over 613. So 613 on SPY, and some change. But yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and put some lines on the chart this morning. Yeah, and again, I don't think yesterday's high and yesterday's low. I just don't think that that's going to do anything. I honestly don't believe that that's going to do anything. Okay, so everybody out here in YouTube land, what you're looking at, what we are looking at right now, is I am, and this is not for the group, but this is for YouTube. What's up, John Gill Street? I'm looking at a 30-minute chart right now. I'm going to put some lines on the chart, basically pre-market high. Setting up there. Let's see how close I got to that. High of 92. 582. Yeah, 582.92. We call it pre-market high. And we got pre-market low way down here. 571. It's crazy. 571.11. 571.11. Now I'm looking left, folks. China would have to put all the tariffs back for to me. That's true. Yeah. So we've got pre-market high and pre-market low, but I don't think it means anything at this point. Let's see. Did I miss that pre-market high of 92? 82.92. Oh, 82.92. Yeah, I missed it. 10 cents. Yeah, I just don't know. I don't think they mean. Hey, OC, good morning. Seriously, don't think that the pre-market high and pre-market low, I don't think they mean anything. I think it's just going to be a 920 day, folks, until we get to, let's look, I'm looking at the 4 hour right now. Oh, this is beautiful. We've got a 4 hour zone. The pre-market high is literally a 4 hour double top on the, well, it's 4 hour. Literally right there at that level, 582.92, 582.92. Hit some levels up top, 96. We need some intermediate targets because we don't want to put a target just, $14 away from where we are. Thing we don't want to do for today, folks, is we don't want to just indiscriminately buy calls because you think that the market is going to do something. It's kind of like we talked about on Friday. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. No earthly idea. 589, just over 589.01 or so. Again, it's 30-minute double top. So we use 30-minute double tops and double bottoms for our zones, our higher time frame zones. We got one right up there also, 83.91. It's about $1. Yeah, right up there. And then the next one. Hey, good morning, Pete. Pete, you are a happy, happy man this morning. There's no question about that. You are a happy man. No question. Okay, so I've got a few lines up here, folks. I mean, you can see those up here. Basically all the way to 594.11. Could push. Easily. Could easily push. So we got some levels up top. How about down below? We got pre-market low sitting in there. Let's see if we can find something down below. So you think we'll profit take today? When will it show at 8:30? Yeah, Pete, it's going to be right at 8:30. Open up your brokerage and it will show right at 8:30 what your contracts are doing, and you should be in really nice shape. And Chris has one call. Yeah, so it's entirely possible, Pete, depending on your strikes, and you told me what you paid for your contracts. It's entirely possible that it runs up a little bit more. And if you just want to close it out right when the market opens, that's fine. But just kind of wait just a little bit. So we got pre-market low, pre-market high. We got 71.11. We've got 82.92. So $11. And again, that's not financial advice. That's just wait to see how it shakes out. Will it sell off? It could. I don't know. I think the likelihood is that it's probably going to run up a little bit before. Now, from an effective rate standpoint, we've got this. I think this is probably better. 578.24. You can see that down here, but I think I'm going to put one more line on here. Right here, 580. Yeah, let's do that. Put another line right in here. Kind of an effective level right in there. So we got right in here 580.14. This is basically the range that we're kind of looking at. So we've got almost $3, a little bit less than $3. I think it's going to run today. Run today, yeah. So CPI, we got CPI coming in on Wednesday. So tomorrow pre-CPI day. We've seen some crazy pre-CPI days in the past. But good morning, Matt. Good morning, Byron. Good to see you. What is going on? Ronald, good morning to you too. Yeah, so let's see what we've got going the rest of, let's see. So the rest of the week from a calendar standpoint, we don't need May 16th. Today's the 13th. So we already had our news this morning. We got Donald Trump making some sort of an announcement this morning at, I believe it's 10 o'clock. What are you going to make pre-market low? 578, is that right? No, I've got 571.11. 571.11 for pre-market low. 571.11. That's where it basically opened and it just ran. We can use kind of 578.24. We can see that level right in here. And then just a little bit, kind of an effective range of 580.14 because again, it's a double bottom area. You can push it up just a few more cents if you want, up to about 580.14. That's what I'm looking at. So no other news today. I say no other news. I mean, Donald Trump's going to do his thing, and he always has a propensity for moving the market. No question about that. Tomorrow is CPI. I was thinking tomorrow was, I was thinking Wednesday was CPI. Tomorrow is CPI, which is good. We like that. So the combination of all the tariff talk and the agreement that we came to with China over the weekend and CPI tomorrow, we could be in for just a banger of a day. But don't make any assumptions, folks. Assumptions is where you get into problems. So yeah, don't make assumptions. I mean, you can, but it doesn't work out the best. Assumptions are dangerous. It's just dangerous. Good morning, Matt. So we got Matt and MJK. MJK is Matt and Matt is Matt. So good morning, everybody. Hope you guys are having a good day so far. It is early, and hope you had a good weekend. Cool stuff. Met some interesting people, maybe. Good morning, Tom. What's going on? All right, folks. We've got about a little bit less than 9 minutes before we get going for the day. So we talked about this a little bit last night. We talked about what I did as far as pre-market and my process of getting ready for the trading day, and a big part of that is the meditation part, where you can take a couple of minutes to meditate or just a few deep breaths to kind of get relaxed, or a 20-minute meditation, transcendental meditation, directed meditation. You can find a lot of good videos on YouTube, or just some deep breathing exercises. So yeah. Now, for those out there in YouTube land right now, what you're looking at is you're looking at the 1 minute chart. So basically on the 1 minute chart, the levels that we have, major levels, we like to take trades directly out of major levels, pre-market high, pre-market low. I'm not worried about yesterday's high and yesterday's low at this point. 30-minute double tops, we call those, well, they are called supply zones. 30-minute double bottoms, those are called demand zones. The only thing that we have on the chart right now up top, those are supply zones. So those in the past have rejected back to the downside. So if we get to one of those zones, have a hard time getting through, and we get a nice play out of one of those zones back to the downside. Today is going to be one of those outlier days, and this is for everybody. In my opinion, it's going to be an outlier day. I would imagine that implied volatility is going to be really, really high again today. So contracts, so the result of that is contracts are going to be very, I would imagine, they'll be very expensive today. And so our risk will necessarily go up. And volume is good. Volume is good. Yeah, it is. Volume is really good. First candle out, well, particularly 6:45 this morning, 455,000 shares at 6:45 this morning. Yeah, so 273% of total volume so far. So again, folks, I think we're going to have a high volatility day, which is just, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. And welcome to everybody watching again out in YouTube land. Okay, let us do this. We're going to get ready. Again, wait for your edge, folks. If your edge happens, put on the trade. If your edge doesn't happen, you guys know what to do. Don't put on the trade just because. And yeah, again, Pete, you should do very, very well. 225%, 278 on NVIDIA, 428% volume on Tesla. That's crazy. I mean, think about what tariffs or coming to an agreement on tariffs is going to do. Yeah, it's just from an economic standpoint, it's really, really good. Hey, good morning, Martha. Good to see you this morning. Hey, good morning, Sam. Calvin, what is up, my friend? Hi, Martha. Okay, so let's see. Who else did I miss? I think just about everybody got. We've got about 5 minutes to go, folks. 5 minutes to go. Okay, so and again, out there in YouTube land, this blue thing over on the right, this is called volume profile. This shows us where the relative volume has been traded during the trading day so far. So this on the 1 minute, this is volume that's been laid down so far. This is over the last 2 days. This is the 5 minute. So this is over the last 2 days with the majority of the volume. This is going to change. 564.58. That's absolutely going to change. On the 1 minute, it looks like this. So this is volume so far today. And this, again, on the 5 minute, is over the last 2 days. -5 minute, and then the 30-minute. This is over a last 130-minute time period. So it's way down here at 523. All these things are going to change. They're going to change. So the reason we use the volume profile is we can anticipate heavy volume areas and thin volume areas. We can anticipate moves, quicker moves. Good morning, Walter. Just thinking about you. Hope you're doing well so far. Rick, what is up, Rick? And again, 3.5 minutes to go, folks. 3.5 minutes to go. Good morning from Western New York. Good morning from the thriving metropolis of Jinx, Oklahoma. Jinx, Oklahoma. Okay. For a week. All right. Pete. By the way, Pete, I know you're getting really, really excited about right now. You got a couple minutes to see where your contracts are, and they should have just absolutely flown. Um, when are you going to Cabo, Pete? Is that in the next couple of days? Wheels up at 12:20. Close that trade. Get out of here, man. That is so awesome. That is so awesome. I'm a little bit jealous, not gonna lie. All right, 2 minutes to go, folks. 2 minutes to go. You got your toes in the water. Yeah, that's a good one right there. That is a good one. Let's see. Hey, good morning, Waylon. What is happening? Say a prayer for me and Christina. We will. We will, my friend. Absolutely. Hey, Michael! Michael on YouTube land. What's up, Spydalf? Good morning. It's really good to see you. Michael, old Spydalf, he's just checking in from YouTube. It's good to see you. Really, really good to see you, my friend. 1 minute and 20 seconds, folks. 1 minute and 20 seconds. So, real quick, folks, before we get going, the newsletter this last weekend, the newsletter was about time and money. The time it takes you to become a profitable trader and to do this full time doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how long it takes you to get there. But here's the kicker. You trade small position sizes. You trade minuscule amounts of money until you get your process. Once you get your process, you start moving up the options chain and start adding to your position. But not until you get your process. So many people have so much scar tissue because, good morning, Gray. So many people have so much scar tissue because they try to go too fast. Don't go too fast, folks. Oh, thank you, too. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very, very much. Oh, thank you, thank you. I will trade you. Yep. Thank you, Mom. Getting some fresh coffee this morning, folks. Yeah, but thank you. I appreciate that a lot. We're going to get ready to do that countdown, folks, here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good morning, Bob. Ding, ding, ding. The market is open. The market is open. Let's see what she does. Volume is strong, guys. Volume is really, really strong. We got 520,000. We're 12 seconds, 13 seconds in. Again, wait for your play. Wait for your play. There's no hurry, guys. Seriously, there's no hurry. And I know Pete's looking at his P&L right now because he had those calls that he bought on Friday. Yeah, which I kind of thought if they came to an agreement that this thing was just going to absolutely run Rudolph. Again, we should have support down here at 580.14. 580.14. We do have some thin volume down here below this level, so we could have some profit taking this morning. We never know. 383, you're up 383. You spent $100 on contracts, less than that. What, $70 on contracts? Man, good for you. Good for you. Not too shabby at all, Pete. Good job. Good job. That's a really, really nice trade. That was a flyer, man. That was a really, really good fit. You spent $50 on contracts, and he was up 383 bucks. We will take that as a win all day long. And again, this is kind of the effective rate effective zone that we're looking at right in here. 580.14, 580.14. If we breach out, I got 578.24. Let's look to see if we can find anything up here. We don't have anything up here until we get way down to, and this is going to be R3 right there. R3. Way down below, folks, way down below. And again, we do have profit taking this morning, no question about that. First candle volume, 1.08 million. 1.08 million. So it was really, 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 really strong. And again, we do have some profit taking this morning. Second candle volume is strong. So we're about 1.5 million volume over the last 2 minutes, folks. We'll take that all day long. Excuse me. All right, and again, folks, just running down, running down, running down. We should find support at some, somewhere. Um, and let me see, how far down are we? 81.47, 79. So we're down a couple bucks already, folks. We're down a couple bucks off of, at least on that wick. So wait for your edge, folks. Don't just jump something because you're being, yeah, I gotta get into a trade. No, you don't. No, you don't. Just relax. Your edge is coming, folks. Your edge is coming. Volatility. I thought volatility would be higher than it is this morning. I really, really, really thought the volatility would be higher than it is. It's sitting like 34%, which is, it's still historically high, but I thought it would be higher. All right, sitting on doji on that last candle. Sitting on doji on the last candle. Good morning, UT. What is going on? What's up, T? That's old Ronald. T Society Ronald. Good morning. Peter JW, good morning. Bill T, good morning. Boomer Sooner and Gold Tigers. All right, folks, again, let's see what we can do at this level right here. We push down. This is a pre-market. This is a pre-market area. So, but it did run up out of this area. And we did run up. We had at 6:47 this morning, and all the times I call out our Eastern times at 6:47. We had 264,000. That's almost unheard of during pre-market, unless it's CPI day and something crazy happens on CPI. In that case, we do get a lot of volume. But again, this is a massive volume at 6:47 this morning. But we will just wait to see. Again, watch this area right in here. The only significance that this level has at 580.14 is it's a pre-market double bottom on a 5. Look at that 5-minute candle, that first five out of the gate. 15 double top at 79.76 from 3.6. Thank you there, Matt. Thank you. You are awesome. Double top at 79.76 right in here. So let's go ahead and take a look at that from 3.2. Yeah, it's 2 months ago, folks. It is 2 months ago. All right, folks. Again, if you took the death cross on puts, I mean, this thing is really, really playing. It was a death cross on that first candle right out of the gate, folks. So it was a 920 POC VWAP all at the same time. So you get one of those candles. Again, if you took it, you're in really, really good shape. We got to close at 80.43. So you're $1.35, $1.40 into this trade right now, and still safe. So we are below. Let's call it this level right here. Actually, a little bit higher. We're safe below 79.63. So as long as we stay below that 79.63, that is where we are fine. I am not trying to entice anybody into a trade right now. But for those of you that maybe took that death cross to the downside, 579.63 is the level we want to stay below. And I'm only using that level right there. Yeah, you got basically kind of a double, almost a triple bottom on the one. There's a ledge there, so you can use that ledge as resistance. Once we start breaking above 579.84, it's probably a quick pop all the way up to about 580.38. So we want to stay below these levels right here. You got the 9 up there at 580.05. Feels like Friday. It does a little bit. And again, let's see what the financial juice is saying this morning. Because I was thinking that Trump's in a press conference right now, folks. Trump is in a press conference right now. He's getting ready to be. So, okay. There's no telling what time the press conference is going to start. There's absolutely, positively no telling what time the press conference is supposed to start. If he says it's going to happen at 9, we don't know when it's going to happen. So the result of that is, because we don't know, we're not going to, oh, that's right, the executive order on capping pharmaceutical drugs. So capping the price of pharmaceutical drugs to the lowest. You should know you're in pharma. I got you. So the highest price that we should pay in the United States is the lowest price that anybody as a favored status nation pays for their pharmaceuticals from the U.S. manufacturer of pharmaceuticals. That's what it is. Hey, Miguel, good morning. Does that make sense? Hey, Iceman, good morning. Good to see you. What is going on? Yeah, so I think it's something like that, and he's gonna do that. So, yeah, that's what it is, folks. That's what it is. So that's my understanding. That's what I think I read that or heard that. That basically he's saying, I don't know what he's saying. That the Americans, we have been getting ripped off because we manufacture here in the United States, we manufacture these pharmaceuticals, but they're cheaper in other countries. Those same medications are cheaper in other countries, so why should we pay more in the United States? And I know Sam, big healthcare guy. Um, so tell me if that's fairly accurate what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure it is. And again, folks, watch your nine right in here, folks. Watch your nine. And again, I'm monitoring it on another screen to kind of see what is going on. But that's my guess. So again, folks, if you're in puts right now, if you are in puts right now, let's just see. Again, we really need to stay below that 78.91. So below 78.91, that is where the magic is happening. Joe, man, where have you been? Where have you been, Joe? Okay. Well, you gotta check in, during the evening or something because I'm like, where is Joe? Okay, so the POC just moved, folks. The POC just moved. And bounce off that POC right now, folks. Bouncing off the POC. And again, we got Donald Trump coming up in just a few minutes, guys. In just a few minutes. This job got my time all messed up. It's all good. All right, still making money. All right, very good, very good, very good. That's what we like. That's what we like. All right, folks, we got a few viewers, so welcome everybody out there in YouTube land. Hope you guys are having a great day. Hope you had a good weekend. Interesting people, all that kind of stuff. Cool things, interesting people. And again, we're just we're watching. See what Trump's going to say ultimately. Oh, I know. Oh, trust me, I know. Yeah, so as soon as he gets on, I would expect the market to do some things. The market always reacts to what he's doing. So yeah. Now let's look at this from a higher time frame, folks. So the 5-minute is way up yonder. Looks like that. 30 minutes looks like that. So, yeah. And again, still pushing down off that POC. We got profit taking. Pete, did you close your calls, Pete? Did you close your calls? Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, like 5 minute. Look at this. Look at that volume. 2.4 million. Yeah, that is the highest volume candle since the highest volume 5 minute since Thursday at close. So yeah, that's a lot of volume. Lots of volume. And again, coming through this 578.24. And again, the only thing of significance at this level right down here, folks, is the fact that you know, not necessarily a pre-market low. Pre-market low sitting at 571.11. But this is kind of the effective pre-market low. It ran up and then it found a little bit of support right in here. It's a 5-minute zone right in here at this level. So we're going to use that kind of as the effective pre-market low, at least for right now. All right, again, 578.24, 578.24, folks. Get above that level. Get above that level. Come on, baby. And we're going to stay on YouTube live through the Donald Trump press conference. Hey, grand rising to you too, Andre. Good morning. Hope you had a good weekend, my friend. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to you too. Happy Monday. So again, folks, if anybody's in a play right now, again, I hope nobody got, took calls right out of the gate and said, this thing's going to run up. I mean, if you did, I mean, you're obviously underwater at this point. Know exactly where you're going to get out. You know, that pre-definition of risk. You got to do that. Predefine your risk before you ever put on the play. And again, we're going to watch this 578.24. See if we can find support and then run it back to the upside. Maybe we can. Maybe we can't. No earthly idea. But again, we got the Trumpster coming up at some point. Whenever he decides to do his thing. It looks like something is getting ready to happen. They got people mulling around in front of the presidential podium. I'm sure they have their all the press people there. Volume is up. You can't hear anything right now. There's no audio to speak of, but they will do their thing. All right, folks. Again, watch this level right in here. Watch your POC. Watch. Essentially, to break structure, we got 579.71 right here. So again, watch for a structural break. If we do that, I'm calling for this thing to go all the way through pre-market high. If we do breach this structure, okay, so they are bringing out some different pictures, putting them on easels. So they have all the easel information right now. And whatever happens, folks. Look for volatility to go up when Trump starts talking, I would think. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Billy. What's happening? Excuse me. What channel am I watching? This is on AP. This is on the AP. I've got the direct feed off of Financial Juice. If you go to Financial Juice, here, let me do this. You should be able to see it. There you go. And scroll down just a smidge and you will see it. You are welcome. You are welcome. And we also, folks, let me, this is really cool if you guys haven't seen this. So I put the financial, good morning, Leonard. I put the, and David, good morning, David. You changed your avatar. I put the financial juice bot in the group. So good morning. So you can see the financial juice right here, folks. So let's do this. All right, again, they're mulling around in there. I don't know why it's not started yet. Did they move some pictures? I didn't see it. I think they did. All right, again, folks, we're just kind of hanging around in this area. We're hanging around in this area. We're ready for the blast off, is what we're ready for. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Again, we got close. We got close to that 578.34 or 24, 578.24. Let's see if we can push this thing up a little bit. We have structure. The first structure is going to be the POC right in here, folks. We got POC, so we're above the 9 right now. All right, I like that, Ice. I like that a lot. If we can get above this POC, I like that area. I like it a lot. So we're effectively what we're looking for right now is we're looking for a double cross to the upside with a close over POC. So a close over POC. You got about, we got a little wick on top of that stick, a little wick on top of that stick, so there we go. And again, Trump's getting ready to come out, folks. Trump is getting ready to come out. Looks like we have RFK. Trump is coming to the mic right now, folks. Here we go.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's,
thank you, everybody.
Here we go.
It's a big day. Should be fun. I don't know. You'll maybe find reasons why it's not, but I can't imagine because we have a lot of great things happening. It's been a very strong week and a very strong weekend.
I like it a lot.
Before we begin, let me say a few words about the historic events that took place over the last few days.
Market's getting ready to go.
On Saturday, my administration helped broker a full and immediate ceasefire, I think a permanent one, between India and Pakistan, ending a dangerous conflict of two nations with lots of nuclear weapons. And they were going at it hot and heavy, and it was seemingly not going to stop. And I'm very proud to let you know that the leadership of India and Pakistan was unwavering, powerful, but unwavering in both cases, and having these. They really were, from the standpoint of having the strength and the wisdom and fortitude to fully know and to understand the gravity of the situation. And we helped a lot. And we helped also with trade. I said, come on, we're going to do a lot of trade with you guys. Let's stop it. Let's stop it. If you stop it, we're doing trade. If you don't stop it, we're not going to do any trade. People have never really used trade the way I used it. That I can tell you. And all of a sudden they said, I think we're going to stop. And they have. And they did it for a lot of reasons, but trade is a big one. We're going to do a lot of trade with Pakistan. We're going to do a lot of trade with India. We're negotiating with India right now. We're going to be soon negotiating with Pakistan. And we stopped the nuclear conflict. I think it could have been a bad nuclear war. Millions of people could have been killed, so I'm very proud of that. I also want to thank Vice President Vance and Secretary of State Rubio for their work and efforts. They worked very hard on that. We also, as you know, created a situation where the Houthis, for the first time ever, have ceased firing, and they've let it be known that they're not going to be firing at American ships anymore, not going to be firing at Americans anymore.
Good stuff.
This
good
was
stuff.
a heavy barrage that lasted for approximately 50 days. And as you know, they've been in war essentially for forever. But over the last 10 years, they've been very difficult for other countries.
Here we go.
Nobody
All right,
was
guys,
able to
run
do
it
what
up,
we
it's
did.
running up, run- this is
But
the
they
last
stopped,
structure
and
right
we
here.
take their word for it. Their surrogates and them directly
79, 74,
said, we don't want to do this
79,
anymore.
74. Watch it. Again, we got Trump
And
on
so
right
we
now.
were
Trump-
satisfied with that.
Um,
In addition, yesterday we achieved a total reset with China after productive talks in Geneva.
How you doing there, Joseph?
Both sides now agreed to reduce the tariffs imposed after April 2nd to 10% for 90 days as negotiators continue on the larger structural issues. And I want to tell you that a couple of things. First of all, that doesn't include the tariffs that are already on, that are our tariffs, and it doesn't include tariffs on cars, steel, aluminum, things such as that, or tariffs that may be imposed on pharmaceuticals, because we want to bring the pharmaceutical businesses back to the United States, and they're already starting to come back now based on tariffs, because they don't want to pay 25, 50, or 100% tariffs, so they're moving them back to the United States. I spoke to Tim Cook this morning, and he's going to, I think, even up his numbers, $500 billion. He's going to be building a lot of plants in the United States for Apple, and we look forward to that. I really do look forward to that. But
Here we go. This is
the talks in Geneva were very friendly. The relationship is very good. We're not looking to hurt China. China was being hurt very badly.
8014.
They were closing up factories. They were having a lot of unrest.
It's a 5-minute zone right in here.
And they were very happy to be able to do something with us. And the relationship is very, very good. I'll speak to President Xi maybe at the end of the week. We have some other things we're doing. But one of the biggest things that we're doing, and I don't know if people realize this, but we made a great deal with China, a great trade deal. But it was a much bigger deal originally, and then they canceled it right in the last day. Some of you faces I remember were there when that happened. I remember you. And we had a deal where they opened up their country to trade with the United States. And they took that away at the last moment, and then I canceled the whole thing. And then 6 months later, we ended up doing a smaller deal. But it was a big deal. It was $50 billion worth of product that they were going to purchase from our farmers, et cetera. And we agreed to that. People thought it was 15 because they were doing 15. We made it 50 because I misunderstood the 15. I thought I said, you got to get 50. Because when I asked, if you remember the story, when I asked, what are we doing with them? My Secretary of Agriculture at the time, Sonny Perdue, said, sir, it's about 15 billion and we're asking for 15. And I thought he said 50. So I said, so they came back with the deal at 15. And I said, no way, I want 50 because you said 50. They said, sir, we didn't say that. Anyway, bottom line, I said, go back and ask for 50. And they gave us 50. And they were honoring the deal. And we would call them up a lot for the corn and for the wheat and for everything. They were honoring the deal. And then when Biden got in, they no longer honored the deal. There was nobody to call. I would call on an average of once every 2 weeks to say, come on, you have to speed it up a little bit. And our farmers were doing great. I said to them, buy more land and bigger tractors, if you remember. That's what happened. But the deal was a very good deal. But the best part of the deal was that we opened up China. China agreed to open itself up to American business to go in. And it would have been a great thing, I think, for China. They would be able to see things that they haven't seen. They would be able to buy products that they have never been able to buy. Would have been great for American business. I think it would have brought unity between China, better unity between China and the United States. And the bottom line is that they canceled it the last day. We were all set to sign it, and then I went a little bit angry. I got a little angry. I said, they canceled the deal. The deal was done. It was all ready to be signed. And people went over, they came back to me, sir, they don't want to sign the opening up China. Well, the biggest thing that we're discussing is the opening up China, and they've agreed to do that. But it's going to take a while to paper it. You know, that's not the easiest thing to paper. But that's the single, I think, to me, some people would disagree. Some people would say we're getting a lot of money with tariffs or whatever. But, you know, especially when you add what we already have. Because remember, we're already getting the 50% on steel and different things. That's not included in these numbers.
That's all we need right there.
So you can add that.
That's all we need.
But the biggest thing to me is the opening up. It would be, I think it would be fantastic for our businesses if we could go in and compete with China. It would be a lot of jobs for China. It would be, I think, at a time when they can frankly use the jobs. And that's what we're talking about. So that's a very, very important element to add. So when Scott, I watched him speak the other day, and I think he didn't want to say it, but I said, it's okay to say it. Look, if we don't get it, we don't get it. But if we don't get it, it won't be a positive thing. But if we do get it, I think it's maybe the most important thing to happen. Because if you think about it, we opened up our country to China. They come, we don't, I mean, they have very few restrictions. And they didn't open their country to us. Never made sense to me. It's not fair. And they've agreed to open China, fully open China. And I think it's going to be fantastic for China. I think it's going to be fantastic for us. And I think it's going to be great for unification and peace. China will also suspend and remove all of its non-monetary barriers. They've agreed to do that.
That is 100% right.
Well,
that's right.
They're very
he can move the market, and he does
numerous. But again, to me, the biggest thing that came out of that meeting is they've agreed. Now we have to get it papered, but they've agreed to open up China.
That's crazy.
It's going to be great for everybody. And third, I'm very happy to announce that Idan Alexander, an American citizen who until recently most thought was no longer living, thought was dead, is going to be released in about 2 hours, actually. And he's going to be released before the eyes of Steve Witkoff, who has done a fantastic job. I just, you know, I know a lot of people that have a lot of talent. I know Steve had a lot of talent. But I know a lot of people with a lot of talent, but there's one that I thought had a special way about him, special personality. Aside from being a good deal maker, had a special way about him, and it was Steve. Knew very little about the subject matter, who does? But he learned it in about 2 hours. And he's been fantastic, so I want to just thank Steve. But they're going to be releasing Idan in about 2 hours from now, or sometime today, let's say. And again, they thought he was dead just a short while ago. His parents are so happy. They're so happy.
He was dead.
So it's, as you know, Idan's the only American citizen who's captured and held hostage by Hamas since October 7th, 2023. And he's coming home to his parents, which is really great news. I mean, to me, it's big news. They thought he was dead. So that's that. So we'll be heading there, and we'll be seeing 3 primary countries. You know all about that: Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar.
No news.
On Thursday's meeting with Russia and Ukraine is very important. I was very insistent that that meeting take place. I think good things can come out of that meeting. Stop the bloodshed of the horrible. It's a bloodbath. But that 5,000 more, it's really much more, I'm trying to be conservative, more than 5,000 soldiers. Russian, they're not American soldiers, they're from Russia, they're from Ukraine, but they're people. They're human souls, and they're being killed at levels that we haven't seen since the Second World War. And it's every week. A lot of drone fighting. It's a whole new form of warfare, and it's violent and vicious. And so that's it. I'd like to go back to China just for a second. They're very heavy on the fentanyl. We're charging them, as you know, 20% for the fact that they send fentanyl into our country. And they've agreed that they're going to stop that. And, you know, they'll be rewarded by not having to pay, you know, hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs.
All right, come on.
So the fentanyl should stop. It comes from China. It's amazing.
All right, folks.
And it comes through our southern border. It comes through our northern border, too. It comes through Canada and comes through our southern border. Much more through the southern border. But so that's a very important subject to me, because everybody in this room has lost friends or people that have family members that have died of fentanyl. So there's a big incentive for China to stop, and I take them at their word. They're going to work on that, I think, very hard. And one thing, when they work on something, they get it done. So now I'm about to depart on a historic visit. Some of you are going with us to, as I said, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and United Arab Emirates. Before I do, I'll sign one of the most consequential executive orders in our country's history. I don't think there's ever been anything signed like this, certainly not with respect to health care, nothing even close. I'm delighted to be joined on this occasion by Secretary of Health and Human Services Robert F. Kennedy, Jr., who is doing a really good job, I have to tell you that. CMS Administrator, a friend of mine, Dr. Mehmet Oz, who is an amazing guy. You know, I was telling Bobby before, Oz had a very successful show, but it hurt his reputation. Because when you're in show business, it hurts your reputation a little bit. It's good for you, but in terms of professionalism and being a doctor, it sort of hurts your reputation. This guy went to the best schools, was the best, I mean, top of the line. Then he did a television show, became a success, made a lot of money, all that stuff, but it sort of hurt him. And you know who I compare that to? I hate to say this, but a special woman, Jeanine Pirro. She was the toughest, smartest DA, maybe in our countries, in our cities and states history, New York. She was really tough, really sharp. Then she did a show, and people didn't think of her quite the same way. She became more of an entertainment person, like Oz. Oz is not an entertainer. He's not really an entertainer, if you know the real story. And she isn't either. She is unbelievable. She was one of the strongest district attorneys in the history of New York, highly respected, very tough, went after the drug dealers at a level that you don't see today anymore. And hopefully she's given up a tremendous, she's leaving the #1 show on cable television, one of the #1 shows on television, period, the 5, but they've got great people left behind, but she was a big part of it. And so I equated to that. Jeanine Pirro is unbelievable. FDA Commissioner Dr. Marty McCary, with a reputation that's second to none, and the job he's doing already has been fantastic. Thank you, Marty. And Director of the National Institute of Health, Jay Bhattacharya, who has been, as you know, from Stanford, so highly regarded, and have all been working with us very hard on this. And the question they would ask, being a little bit new to the government aspect of it, is why doesn't somebody fight the drug price situation, meaning equalization? There's a term. It's called equalization. Nobody wants to mention that term. And I'm not knocking the drug companies. I'm really more knocking the countries than the drug companies, because they're forced to do things. But the drug lobby is the strongest lobby in this country, they say, the drug lobby. It's between that and lawyers.
Hey, Eric, E-Money,
and they have a lot of power. Hey, but starting today, the United States will no longer subsidize the health care of foreign countries, which is what we were doing. We're subsidizing others' health care. Countries where they paid a small fraction of what, for the same drug, that what we pay many, many times more for. And will no longer tolerate profiteering and price gouging from Big Pharma, but again, it was really the countries that forced Big Pharma to do things that, frankly, I'm not sure they really felt comfortable doing, but they've gotten away with it, these countries. European Union has been brutal. And the drug companies actually told me stories. It was just brutal how they forced them. And European Union suing all our companies, Apple, Google, Meta, they're suing all of our companies. They end up, they have judges that are European Union-centric.
Oh my God,
and they get
Ruben.
rewarded 15 billion, 17 billion, 20
Ruben.
billion, and they use that to run
Goodness.
their operation. Not going to happen
It
any
is
longer, that
so
I can
good
tell
to
you.
see you, Ruben.
So what's been
my
happening is we've been
goodness.
subsidizing other countries
Finally.
throughout the world, not just in Europe, throughout the world. European Union was the most difficult from what I understand. I mean, I'll tell you a story. A friend of mine who's a businessman, very, very, very top guy. Most of you would have heard of him. A highly neurotic, brilliant businessman, seriously overweight, and he takes the fat shot drug. And he called me up, and he said, President, he calls me, he used to call me Donald, now he calls me President, so that's nice respect. But he's a rough guy, smart guy.
Fat shot.
Very successful, very rich. I wouldn't even know how we would know this, but because he's got comments. President, could I ask you a question? What? I'm in London, and I just paid for this damn fat drug I take.
Oh,
I said, it's not
so
working.
loud. All right, Mark.
He said,
Let me turn him down a little
he
bit.
said, I just paid $88. And in New York, I pay $1,300. What the hell is going on? He said, so I checked. And it's the same box, made in the same plant, by the same company. It's the identical pill that I buy in New York. And here I'm paying $88
Mark
in
McDowell,
London.
is that better?
In New
Is
York,
that better?
I'm paying $1,300.
This damn
Now,
fat
this is a
drug.
great
I know,
businessman,
I know.
but he's not familiar with this crazy situation that we have.
Okay, thanks,
But he
Mark.
was
Thank you.
stunned.
And by the way, Mark, I'm glad you're here.
But it
Thank
was
you for
just
being here.
one of
Thank you
those
for being here,
stories,
Mark.
and
Seriously.
I brought it up with the drug companies, represented by somebody who's very, very
There.
smart, good person too. And we argued
The
about it for
fat
about
drug.
half hour.
That's
and then finally
hilarious.
He just
The
said,
fat drug.
because they can't justify it. He just said, look,
So,
Yeah.
Mark and everybody else out there in
I
YouTube
can
land,
no
we're
longer
not.
just-
I mean, I can call out these levels
crap for
levels
years.
all
They
day
said,
long.
it's research and development. I
Um,
said, well, research and
sure, guess
development,
we
other
can't hear
countries
him
should
now.
pay research and development too. It's for their benefit. It was just one of those things, and the other countries would set a price, and they'd meet the price, and they'd say, if you don't meet
guys
the price,
want
you
me,
can't
I
sell
can
it
turn
in
it
our
up.
country. I said, well, then you walk away, and they'll call you back, and they'll sell it in the country. But now they'll have to do that. So for the first time in many years, we'll slash the cost of prescription drugs, and we will
that
bring
better,
fairness to America. Drug
Gotta
prices
find
will
a
come
happy
down
medium.
by much more, really, if you think 59. If you think of a drug that is sometimes 10 times more expensive, it's much more than the 59%. It depends on the way you want to analyze it, but in one way you could analyze it that way. But between 59 and 80, and I guess even 90%. So
Yeah, it's
when
the
I
same
worked
thing
so
with
hard
me,
in the
Eric.
first
I'm just waiting to
term,
wait
and if
for
I
it to
got
be
prices
done.
down, remember, I was the only one to ever get prices down for a
And
full
I
year.
put the link in here.
But
a
I'd get
couple
them down
different
like
times, so if you
2%,
wanna
and I
click
thought
on
it was
that
like a
link.
big deal. Well, we're getting them down
Yeah.
60, 70, 80, 90%.
And that's the only.
But
that's
actually more
literally
than that, if you think
two
about it
reasons
in the
for
way
it being on right now.
mathematically.
Number one,
And
so we can start
Farmer
trade
has
when
to
he's
say,
done.
we're
And
sorry,
number
but
two, because it's always just
we'll
cool.
not be able to
always
do
fun.
this any
Fat
longer
drug.
to
I like
these
this, this
to these
damn fat
countries
drug.
that have been so tough.
That's-
They've been very tough,
It's a fat
nasty.
drug.
It's trade. It's trade. And pharma is also very powerful. And the Democrats have protected pharma. This is the Democrats have protected pharma. These are the Democrats. And by the way, I just called the Speaker of the House, and I just called the leader, our leader in the Senate, John Thune, Mike Johnson. Spoke to both of them. I said, when you score, you're going to have to score two things. You're going to have to, number one, score that hundreds of billions of dollars of tariff money is coming in. But even bigger than that, you're going to have to score that your cost for Medicaid and Medicare and just basically pharmaceuticals and drugs is going down at a level that nobody has ever seen before. It'll pay for the Golden Dome. I see the Golden Dome is there, see? That'll easily pay for the Golden Dome. And we'll have a lot of money left over. We need the Golden Dome, by the way, in this world. Although this world's a lot safer today than it was a week ago, and a lot safer than it was 6 months ago. We had people that had no clue what they were doing. So today Americans spend 70% more for prescription drugs than we spent in the year 2000. Think of that. Our country has the highest drug prices anywhere in the world by sometimes a factor of 5, 6, 7, 8 times. It's not like they're slightly higher. They're
It's true, Barry.
6, 7, 8 times. There are even cases of 10 times higher.
It's true. Coming
So
through
that you
VWAP
go
right now,
10
folks. We
times
are
more
getting through
expensive for the
VWAP.
same drug.
Okay,
That's
this is
big
where
numbers.
let's see if we
Even
can
though the
fun
United
happens
States
right
is
here,
home to
folks.
only
Again, through
4% of the
VWAP,
world's population,
Now,
pharmaceutical companies make more than 2/3 of their profits in America. So think of that. With 4% of the population, the pharmaceutical companies make most of their money, most of their profits from America. That's not a good thing. Now, I think, by the way, I have great respect for these companies and for the people that run them. I really do. And I think they did one of the greatest jobs in history for their company, convincing people for many years that this was a fair system. Nobody really understood why, but I figured it out. For years, pharmaceutical and drug companies have said that research and development costs were what they are, and for no reason whatsoever. They had to be borne by America alone. Not anymore, they don't. This means American patients were effectively subsidizing socialist healthcare systems in Germany, in all parts of the
all right, here we go.
European Union. They were the toughest of all. They were nasty. And I see that. I see that with trade too. European Union is in many ways nastier than China.
I'm not getting excited to get anybody to say to anybody, hey,
we've just started with them.
I'm not doing that.
Oh, they'll come down a lot.
As a matter of fact, it's kind of late in
we have all the cards. They treated us very unfairly. They sell us 13 million cars. We sell them none. They sell us their agricultural products. We sell them virtually none. They don't take our products. That gives us all the cards. And very unfair. So they're going to have to pay more for health care, and we're going to have to pay less. That's all it is. And believe it or not, because it's really the world we're talking about, not just the European Union, but because it's the world, the numbers are for the health care company not as bad as you would think. They'll make the same. I think the health care companies should make pretty much the same money. I really don't believe they should be affected very much because it's just a redistribution of wealth. It's a redistribution where it could be the same top line, but it's going to be distributed differently. Europe's going to have to pay a little bit more. The rest of the world's going to have to pay a little bit more, and America's going to pay a lot less. Again, because it's a much smaller population than when you think of the whole world. So basically what we're doing is equalizing. There's a new word that I came up with, which I think is probably the best word. We're going to equalize, where we're all going to pay the same. We're going to pay what Europe's going to pay. We're going to all pay. Now, there may be some countries in dire need, and I would be willing to sacrifice that and help them. But it's called most favored nation. We are going to pay the lowest price there is in the world. We will get whoever is paying the lowest price, that's the price that we're going to get. So remember that. So we're no longer paying 10 times more than another country. Whoever is paying the lowest price, we will look at that price and we will say that's the price we're going to pay. Most favored nations, that's what it is. One breast cancer drug costs Americans over $16,000 per bottle, but the same drug from the same factory, manufactured by the same company, is 1/6 that price in Australia and 1/10 that price in Sweden. 1/10 for the identical product. A common asthma drug costs almost $500 here in America, but costs less than $40 in the United Kingdom. So $40 in the United Kingdom, which is where this gentleman told me he paid a small amount for his shot. But think of that. So $40 versus $500 here. That's not even bad. There are much worse examples. And the weight loss drug, Ozempic, costs 10 times more in the United States than in the rest of the developed world.
That's a fat
10 times
shot,
more.
right?
Why?
Ozempic,
Why? What did we do? Suckers. But we never had a president that had the courage to do this. And nobody knew the system like I do. I mean, I've gotten to know this system so well.
Ozempic?
And I don't think it's fair that it benefits
And again, watch
Obamacare.
out,
Obamacare is a
580,
failure. It's not a good,
folks. Yep,
it's not
that's
a good
it.
health care.
That's the one.
It works. I made it work. I had an
Fat
obligation
shot.
to make it work.
That's hilarious.
Or an obligation to let it die. I chose that we had to make it work. I had to make it as good as possible. And I had a choice. I could have let it fail or make it as good as possible. As good as possible means it was still not very good, but it survived. And we did the right thing. But this makes everything work. And I don't want to have a bad form of health care work because of the fact I was able to cut drug prices by 80 or 90%. So we're going to maybe come up with something. I think this gives the Republicans a chance to actually do a health care that's much better than Obamacare and for less money, which if you guys would work on that along with Congress. But I do want to say that Democrats could have done this a long time ago. They have fought like hell for the drug companies, and they knew they were doing the wrong thing. And it's going to be very hard. I was just telling the leader and the speaker that it's going to be very hard for the Democrats to vote against the one big, beautiful deal. The greatest tax cuts in history, greatest everything, but now you have the big drug prices because that's going to be included. It makes that whole situation different from a scoring standpoint. I just told them, I called them up about this. I said, I'm going to do something that's going to be very monumental, and you're going to be scoring. You better tell your people that this is going to score really well, and then add hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs to your list also. But as big as the tariffs are, this is something that really hits quickly. 5 years ago, I signed an executive order to confront this disaster, but only confront it in a minor way. It was a good confrontation, but never to this extent. And it took people a little while to understand a very complicated system. But Joe Biden, without any knowledge of what he was doing, terminated the policy and then pretended to negotiate under a new system. And then you take a look, 5 out of the 10 drugs that he negotiated are now over 200% more expensive in America than the rest of the world, and far more expensive than when he even got involved. Much more expensive than when he got involved. Joe Biden's plan was as you know, because you wrote about it. You don't say it very loudly, but it was a very big failure, was his whole presidency. First, I'm directing the U.S. trade representatives and Department of Commerce to begin investigations into foreign nations that extort drug companies by blocking their products unless they accept bottom line and very low dollar amounts for their product, unfairly shifting the cost burden onto American patients. And we'll be taking a look at that very strongly. The biggest thing we're going to do is we're going to tell those countries, like those represented by the European Union, that, that game is up, sorry. And if they want to get cute, then they don't have to sell cars into the United States anymore.
Hey, David A. And David A. Please send me a DM.
Because I'll defend the drug companies from that standpoint. They were given a price by the European unions and other countries. This is what you do. This is what we're going to pay. We're not going to pay any more. Let America pay the difference because there was a big shortfall. Let America pay it. And that's what we did, but we're not doing it anymore. Next, my administration will secure what we're calling most favored nations drug pricing. The principle is simple. Whatever the lowest price paid for a drug in other developed countries, that is the price that Americans will pay. We're using the term other developed countries because there are some countries that need some additional help, and that's fine. I think that's very good.
If you could do that,
some prescription drug and pharmaceutical prices will be reduced almost immediately by 50 to 80 to 90%. Big Pharma will either abide by this principle voluntarily or will use the power of the federal government to ensure that we are paying the same price as other countries. To accelerate these price restrictions and reductions, my administration will also cut out the middlemen. We're going to totally cut out the famous middlemen. Nobody knows who they are, middlemen. I've been hearing the term for 25 years, middlemen. I don't know who they are, but they're rich. That I can tell you. We're going to cut out the middlemen and facilitate the direct sale of drugs at the most favored nation price directly to the American citizen. So we're cutting out, Bobby, the middlemen. It's so important.
And I will ask you right now, why you are sending,
they're worse than The drug
our
companies, they don't even make a
members
product, and they make a
messages
fortune.
about drop shipping.
It's very
I will
smart
ask,
business people that I can
publicly
tell you. If
while
companies
you're
make
sending
no
our
significant
members,
progress toward most favored
information about
nation
drop
pricing,
shipping, asking
which
them
we
about
will
drop
insist that they
shipping,
do, so I think I'm wasting
if in
time
fact
talking
that's
about it.
you,
We're going to insist
I just
upon
need
it.
an explanation.
And we'll
as to
insist, and
why.
we're going to help the
Oh,
drug
look at
companies with the
that.
other nations, because those other
doesn't take
nations do a
long,
lot of
does it?
trading with us. They need our trade just like China needed
That's
us very
hilarious.
badly.
As soon as a
They need
scammer is
us
found
just
out,
as
guys,
badly.
they just
And we
leave.
will
Isn't
do
that
whatever we have to with
crazy how
trade,
that
just
works?
like
We get scammers
we
all
did
the
some
time
great
here in
things with
Discord,
trade
and
with
then
India and
you
Pakistan.
call them out and they leave.
Really helped the
So,
situation, very
you get
heated
ready to be
situation.
bounced. So
Could have
you're
lost
going to
millions of people,
ban.
more than millions. I
And he
mean,
still won't
many
message me.
millions of people.
He won't message me. Busted.
And,
Yeah, that was just, that's.
They want to do business with
Okay, so for
America.
anybody in the group, if anybody
We never
asks
used
you
our
about drop shipping or
powers
anything like
that way.
that, folks,
We never knew how. We never had people that knew how to do that.
Scam.
We'll also
It's a
open up America's
scam.
market to safe and legal imports
he
of
still hasn't
affordable
sent me a
drugs from
DM.
other
I'm gonna give him
countries,
1 month
putting
to send me a DM
dramatic
before I'm gonna
downward
give him a
pressure on
ban.
prices.
Maybe it's
And if
innocent, but I
necessary, we'll
seriously
investigate the
doubt it.
drug companies, and we'll, in particular,
Seriously
investigate the
doubt it.
countries that are doing this, and we will add it onto the,
Yeah, Paul's
price,
OnlyFans. It's only feet.
that
We have only
we charge
feet in
them
here.
for doing business in America. In other words, we'll add it on to tariffs if they don't do what is right, which is everybody should equalize, everybody should say, pay the same price. And special interests may not like this very much, but the
Yeah,
American
he
people
hasn't
will.
messaged
I mean,
me,
I
so he's
am
getting
doing
banned
this
there.
for the
There he
American
goes.
people.
Ban?
I'm doing this against
Suspicious
the
or
most
spam
powerful
account?
lobby in the
So
world,
he's
probably,
gone.
the drug
Feats of
lobby, drug
strength.
and pharmaceutical
Yeah,
lobby.
he's gone.
But it's one of the most important orders, I think, that's ever been signed, certainly with regard to health care or health in the history of our country.
Come
And it's an
on.
honor to be a
Hurry
part
up
of
and
it.
be
And
done.
I'd
Hurry
like
up
to
and be
ask
done.
Robert F. Kennedy to say a few words, please.
All right,
Thank
here
you.
we go, Bobby Kennedy. We got Bobby Kennedy on the mic.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is an extraordinary day. This is an issue that, I grew up in the Democratic Party, and every major Democratic leader for 20 years has been making this promise to the American people. This was the fulcrum of Bernie Sanders' runs for presidency, that he was going to eliminate this discrepancy between Europe and the United States. But as it turns out, none of them were doing it. It's one of these promises that politicians make to their constituents, knowing that they'll never have to do it. And the reason they'll never have to do it is because they know that Congress is controlled in so many ways by the pharmaceutical industry. There's at least one pharmaceutical lobbyist for every congressman, every senator on Capitol Hill, and every member of the Supreme Court. By some estimates, 3.
Wow.
Pharmaceutical companies, the industry itself spends 3 times what the next largest lobbyist spends on lobbying. So this was an issue that people talked about, but nobody wanted to do anything because it was radioactive. They knew you couldn't get it by Congress. We now have a president who is a man of his word, who has the courage. President Trump was taking money from the pharmaceutical industry too. I think they gave you $100 million. But he can't be bought, unlike most of the politicians in this country. And he is standing here for the American people. I don't know what, there's writers like Lord Elizabeth Warren or Robert Reich who are saying that President Trump is on this side of the oligarchs. There has never been a president more willing to stand up to the oligarchs than President Donald Trump. And I'm very, very proud of you, Mr. President, for your courage, I'll say, because I don't want to be crude, your intestinal fortitude, your stiff spine, and your willingness to stand up for the American people. We have 4.2% of the world's population. Our country represents 75% of the revenues for pharmaceutical companies. We spend in our country $1,126 per capita on drugs. In Britain, they spend about $240. They spend 1/5 of what we do. And this is true across Europe. And the drug companies, Europeans, if you ask them, it made no sense what they were saying. America has to pay for this innovation or
It's coming out
it's
now,
not going to
folks.
happen.
Yeah,
What
that's I'm
President
seeing
Trump
the
is
same thing.
saying
The
to our
pharmaceutical
European
industry
partner
gave him $100
is
million.
you've got to raise the amount that you're paying for those drugs and pay for your share of the innovation.
Yeah.
Oh, that the United
And again,
States
coming
is
on
no
down,
longer
folks, we got
subsidizing that.
crosses the downside.
If
The only thing we didn't
Europeans
have-
raise the price of their drugs by
POC
just
involvement.
20%,
The
that is
pharmaceutical-
$10
Trump,
trillion
they gave Trump $100
that can be spent on innovation, and the health of all people all across the globe is going to increase because we're going to have better products.
But that's, I mean, that's
So
it's
I'm just so
disgusting
grateful
how-
to be here today. I never thought that this would happen in my
He's a
lifetime.
lobbyist, so yeah.
I have a couple of kids who are
former
Democrats,
congressman.
are big Bernie Sanders fans,
He's a
and
telecom
when I told them that this was
did
going to
take it.
happen,
$100
they had
million
tears in their
from the
eyes.
deal.
Because they thought this is never going to happen in our lifetime,
I
and
would
we
imagine.
finally have a president who's willing to stand up for the American people. Thank you, and Dr. Oz.
All right, we got Dr. Oz on. Let's hurry up and finish up.
Thank you,
this
Secretary
thing.
Kennedy. This is the most powerful executive order on pharmacy pricing and healthcare ever in the history of our nation. And it's only happening because we have a president with the fortitude, the guts to stand up to the withering criticism and lobbying that's going to occur as soon as folks hear about the executive order. So,
Okay, so look
on
at what
behalf
the
of
market
the
is
child in
doing
Philadelphia
right
who's got an
now.
autoimmune
They are
disease with a
ripping.
$1,000 a
They're
month drug,
absolutely
or the
ripping the pharmaceutical
older
industry right
woman
now,
in
and look
Los
at how the market
Angeles
is
who's on a
reacting.
blood thinner who can't afford her
We're
copay.
dumping.
I want to thank President
This
Trump.
thing is
God bless you for having the
dumping
guts to
right
take
now
on
because they are-
this industry.
They're
Thank
just
you, sir.
eviscerating the pharmaceutical
So let's talk
industry,
about the
basically
details a
saying
little
these
bit.
guys are
And this is
liars,
primarily
crooks, and
about
thieves.
equalization,
They're calling
as
them
President
out.
Trump said. It's
And the
about
market
fairness.
is saying, "Ooh,
Think of
we don't
NATO
know
as a
if we like
metaphor.
that or not."
When
You know, we can
President
look at
Trump said,
something
you've got to pay a little
like,
more, so
Pfizer.
it makes sense for all of us, they
All right,
came
here
up.
we go.
And the European countries contributed. The
Lit-
same thing we
Eli
believe will
Lilly
happen
is down,
in this
J&J is
situation.
down. Everything
Most
is
people
down.
who have thought about this process agree that it is patently unfair
Pfizer?
to tolerate the
Pfizer's
numbers
up.
that Secretary Kennedy and President Trump have reflected
let
to
me
you.
see.
On this chart to my left is a list of the 10 drugs that were negotiated in the IRA. Again, this is the bill, the law, that
Yeah, it's
regulates
crazy is
a
the
negotiation
yeah.
process. This is the best price
Is pharma
that
part
was
of
able to be
SPY?
obtained
Well,
by the
it's-
Biden administration.
It just
And if you look at these
depends.
numbers,
It depends on which
they actually
act-
reflect
equity
how
we're
much
talking
on
about.
top of
We got Eli Lilly,
the most favored
J&J,
nation
Merck.
price
Merck
was
is
being
up.
paid by the United States.
Merck
So
is
the
up.
closest to
Looking
me,
at
and
an
Bob, you can
advanced
point to
chart
the
right
chart against the
now.
closest one, 289%, the one that's closest to you. That means that we are paying in America 4 times more than that drug costs in other countries. Again, 100% is the baseline. It's 289% above that baseline. It goes all the way down to when we're paying 50% more than any other country. That's the range. As was pointed out by President Trump, half the time we're paying 3 times more than is paid in other countries. It doesn't make any sense for the system. That stated,
Man, again,
President
this
Trump
is-
has
this is
over and
crazy.
over again
This is crazy
indicated,
that it's,
and Secretary
that it's
Kennedy
reacting
has reflected
like
as
this.
well.
I mean,
We
it's-
want innovation.
And-
We
and
want
they're
our
looking at the
technology
individual stocks
partners
that make
doing the
that
best they
up.
can to make the best solutions for drugs to cure as many
biggest
people
one is
in
gonna be
America
Eli
and around the
Lilly.
world as possible. By getting our allies to pay a
York
bit
Stock
more,
Exchange.
as they should be, and they should have for many years been doing, will course correct a problem that's gotten out of hand. And by doing that in a thoughtful, effective way, we're going to be able to get the pharmaceutical industry whole. Those jobs will still be here, will still be productive, will still be curing cancer and a slew of other ailments that plague humanity. America will still be the leader in this space, but we'll be paying the appropriate amount, the right-sized amount for those tasks.
There it
So over
goes,
the next
folks.
30
He's coming down
days,
hard.
the 4 of us up here, together with people standing in the back of this room who are doing a lot of the heavy lifting, are going to be approaching pharmaceutical companies to talk specifically about what we want the most favored nation price to be based on the best data we have. We're looking forward to a thoughtful interaction with these corporate leaders, many of whom we've spoken to and in quiet will agree the system is not right the way it is. They're patriotic Americans. They want what's right. But the fact that in my lifetime, as Secretary Kennedy said, for the first time, we have a thoughtful and aggressive approach thanks to President Trump, on taking on the special interests, should give all Americans confidence that this is an administration that stands for fairness and should chill the waters for those who believe they can push us away from our North Star, which is to take care of the American people. Mr. President, God bless you. Thank you. Jay, you want to go next? Sure.
So I teach economics at Stanford as well as health policy. And one thing that's really, really simple in economics is that when you have a persistent price difference for the same product between 2 countries, there is something deeply wrong. And what President Trump has done is a historic measure that should have been done a long time ago. What we're going to do is make sure that those prices become much closer
Matt
to
T,
equal,
what's going on,
like a competitive
man?
market you'd expect. Right now, what's happening is the American people are subsidizing in large fraction the research and development efforts for drug companies around the world by the higher prices that we pay. With this new order, Europe will share the burden of that. And in fact, if you may think of it as like as somehow it's like it's going after drug companies, actually it's helping drug companies. Because what we're also going to do with this order, what President Trump has done with this order, is he's said to European governments, look, if you are taking advantage of the drug companies by forcing them to charge very, very low prices, we're going to defend American drug companies in Europe. At the same time, we're standing up for the American consumer who's been paying far too high prices for far too long. I can go back decades to point to congressional reports after government report after government report of tremendously high drug prices, much higher than the rest of the world, and nothing has been done about it until this moment.
All right,
And
folks,
I'm
again,
really, really proud, President Trump, that you've done this.
waiver,
I'm really
the
proud to be
waiver.
included in this and looking forward to the work ahead.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of the many doctors I've talked to about this very issue, thank you for taking the bull by the horns. Presidents on both sides of the aisle have talked about this and floated it and said they've wanted to do it, so you've had the courage to do it. Thank you. I've been a surgical oncologist at Johns Hopkins for 22 years, and I have seen patients suffer. We didn't take an oath to heal patients and then watch their life get ruined financially with their home, mortgage, retirement, going down the drain with GoFundMe
Pharma is probably gonna
campaigns,
retaliate,
raising money
release
from
COVID
church communities and
2.1.
synagogues and friends they haven't seen in 20 years to try to raise money for what? For a system where Americans have been getting ripped off by 10, 12, 15 times higher prices than we see in other countries. The fundamental problem in healthcare is that we've had non-competitive markets.
And again, we'll
We
get
can do
back
little
to,
things around
live
the edges,
trading
or we
as
can
soon
transform
as
those
they're all done
markets
with this, news
to competitive
conference.
markets,
I
and that's what
never
this
feel
executive
comfortable,
order does
taking
today.
a trade or being in
Imagine
a trade,
buying
while
a
Trump is
Ford
on.
for $175,000, a regular car, and then hearing that people in London are buying it for $10,000 every day, all day long. That is the craziness of this system. We're going to do everything we can at the FDA to support this executive order. It's transformative. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So thank you very much, everybody. It's, I think it's a very important day. In many ways, you have, we'll start with the Houthis. We go to Pakistan and India. We go to what we did with China, the trade deal, and with UK. And by the way, many other deals are coming in very much. At a certain point, we'll just set the price because we know where we are. But we'll just set the price. But world trade is going to be terrific, and our country is going to be making a lot of money. Taxes are going to go down. Taxes are going to go down very, very substantially. But you look at all of the things that we've done, and now today I'm heading over. We'll see what we're going to do with respect to Iran. I think you have very good things happening there, too, by the way. I think can't have a nuclear weapon, but I think that they are talking intelligently. We're in the midst of talking to them, and they're right now acting very intelligent. We want Iran to be wealthy and wonderful and happy and great.
Hello.
But they can't have a nuclear weapon. It's very simple. So I think they understand that I mean business,
awesome.
and
Tomorrow morning, okay.
I think they're being very reasonable thus far.
Perfect. I'll see you
And,
open at 8.
Don't underestimate Thursday in
All right,
Turkey.
Thanks. Bye.
President Erdogan is going to be a great host, and we are doing
All right, we're
some work
ready.
with
We're
him,
done. We're
having to
ready.
do
We're
with
ready to
Syria,
trade, folks.
too,
We are
by the way. We're going to have to
absolutely
make
ready
a
to trade. It's just,
decision on the
getting below that
sanctions, which
level,
we may
that
very well
578,
relieve. We may take them off
24
of Syria because we want to give them a fresh start.
We're looking at right now. It's
But
kind of that
President Erdogan's asked me about that. Many people have asked me about that because the way we have them sanctioned, it doesn't really give them much of a start. So we want to see if we can help them out. So we'll make that determination. But I think you're going to have maybe a good meeting. You have the potential for a good meeting, that a meeting wasn't going to take place. I insisted that that meeting take place. And it is taking place. And I think you may have a good result out of the Thursday meeting in Turkey between Russia and Ukraine. and I believe the two leaders were going to be there. I was thinking about flying over. I don't know where I'm going to be on Thursday. I've got so many meetings, but I was thinking about actually flying over there. There's a possibility of it, I guess, if I think things can happen. But we got to get it done. We got to save 5,000 lives a week. 5,000 lives is really more than that. It's worse than that. And when you see and you don't want to see it, but when you see the satellite photographs of the battlefield with arms and legs and heads all over the place, separated by 30 yards from bodies, doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. So we're working very hard to see if we can end that bloodbath. Okay, there shouldn't be too many questions. It's been covered pretty
There
well.
shouldn't be too many questions.
Thank you for taking questions. Two quick
Here we
ones
go.
for
Buckle
you.
up.
Starting on trade. If a longer-term deal is not reached with China at the end of these 90 days, can the American people expect those tariffs to go back up to 145%?
No, but they would go up substantially higher.
Okay, and then on
You know, at 145, you're really decoupling because nobody's going to buy. But they can go, they got very high because of additional tariffs I applied during the course because of fentanyl and other things. But no, but they'd go substantially higher.
And then on Qatar, Mr. President,
I think you will have a deal, however.
Okay, you're confident that there will be a deal. On Qatar, has Qatar asked for anything in exchange for that $400 million luxury jumbo jet? And how can the American people be so sure that they will not in the future?
Well, I think what happens with the plane is that, you know, we're very disappointed that it's taking Boeing so long to build a new Air Force One. You know, we have an Air Force One that's 40 years old. And if you take a look at that compared to the new plane of the equivalent, you know, stature at the time, it's not even the same ballgame. You look at some of the Arab countries and the planes they have parked alongside of the United States of America plane, it's like from a different planet. And it's close to 40 years old, might be more than 40 years old now. And we, when I first came in, I signed an order to get it built. I took it over from the Obama administration. They had originally agreed. I got the price down much lower. And then when the election didn't exactly work out the way that it should have, a lot of work was not done on the plane because a lot of people didn't know. They made change orders that were so stupid, so ridiculous. And it ended up being a total mess, a real mess.
And again, watch this.
And when I came back, I said, by the way, what's going on with the Boeings that are coming in? Well, sir, they're way behind, and they are. They're way behind. They were way behind. Another mess that I inherited from Biden.
So again,
it's going to be a while before we get them. And I think Qatar, who has really, we've helped them a lot over the years in terms of security and safety. I think they, and very, very nicely, and I have a lot of respect for the leadership and for the leader, Qatar. And I think they they knew about it because they buy Boeings. They buy a lot of Boeings. And they knew about it. And they said, we would like to do something. And if we can get a 747 as a contribution to our Defense Department to use during a couple of years while they're building the other ones, I think that was a very nice gesture. Now, I could be a stupid person and say, oh, no, we don't want a free plane. We give free things out. We'll take one, too. And it helps us out because, again, we're talking about we have 40-year-old aircraft. The money we spend, the maintenance we spend on those planes to keep them tippy-top is astronomical. You wouldn't even believe it. So I think it's a great gesture from Qatar. I appreciate it very much. I would never be one to turn down that kind of an offer. I mean, I could be a stupid person and say, no, we don't want a free, very expensive airplane. But it was, I thought it was a great gesture. And I think it was a gesture because of the fact that we have helped and continue to, we will continue to, all of those countries, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, and others, we keep them safe. If it wasn't for us, they probably wouldn't exist right now. And I think this was just a gesture of good faith. And I don't get it. Someday it'll be like Ronald Reagan. They decommission them. You know, they get to a certain age, they decommission them. It'll go to my library. They're talking about going to my library in years out. But I thought it was a great gesture, and it's something that was done by Ronald Reagan. They actually decommissioned the plane, and he put it in his library, and it actually has made the library, I think, a Boeing 707. It's actually made the library more successful, so it was good.
If our edge presents
Do you
itself,
plan to use the plane after you leave
5
office?
times a day.
No, I
Take
don't, no.
those
It would,
trains.
it would go directly to the library
But
after,
again,
after I
when we
leave
take those
office.
trains out of the
I
major
wouldn't be
levels,
using it, no.
Mr. President, on the
Your
hostage,
trades, as
on
long
the
as we take
hostage,
those
you
trades
said that
out
the
of major
release
levels,
of the American
looking
hostage,
for
Eden
one
Alexander, is a
of
step in
47.
good faith to
And
end
everybody
this
else,
war.
the
Do
president
you
is
expect
struggling,
any
focus on
progress
one
or
side
perhaps
and one
announcement on
side only
ceasefire
within
during
the
your trip
overall
to the
strategy.
Middle
We
East?
hope that we're
You're
going to have
absolute.
other hostages released too,
100%
as you know.
bulletproof
So
in that
when I met with
setup,
the
don't
hostages
move
3
on to
weeks
the
ago
next
that were
one.
there for quite a
So,
while, you
you
remember
are
the 10
further
people
limiting
that came
yourself,
in,
which
mostly
you
young people,
absolutely
1 or 2
positively
were a
should
little bit
do,
older. And
while
they
you
were
are
explaining
in
the trials and
kind of the
tribulations. I
infancy
mean, they went
stages,
through hell.
or you've taken some losses
And I
and
said,
kind
how
of
many are there?
starting
They said
over.
59. I said, that's a
again, that's
lot.
my
I didn't
opinion.
realize, because we
It's
get a lot
not
out.
opinion,
You know,
folks.
we
That's
got a lot
just
of
the way
hostages out.
you
I think you will
should do it.
acknowledge. They said 59, but then they said, they followed that up by saying 59, of which 24 are living, the rest are dead. But the people whose son, mostly son,
POC sitting out,
I think one daughter in
579,
this case, but mostly
579,
sons are
23. We've
there, or
broken
husbands
structure, a couple different
are
places.
there. Those people want the dead bodies as much as they want the live body. I have a mother
We're
that
safe above.
calls
Okay,
me,
so the POC just
that
changed
came
by
up
a
to
couple
me
of
when I
cents,
first
folks,
met her, and she
which is
said,
good for
sir,
pulse, as long as we
please,
stay above that,
please
then
get my
we're
son out.
safe.
He's dead, but they have his body. And I asked her about that, and it's as though he were alive. The level of wanting that body back is the same. It couldn't be any more, as though he were alive. So, getting the bodies back is very important. That could be a thing having to do with the religion. It could be same. I was amazed at the level of importance. It's the same as if the son or husband or whatever was alive. So they said 59. In fact, they came in with a number 59 written out on like a sign on their chest. But they came to thank me for getting them out. And I said, what does the 59 mean? They said, well, that means there are 59 people. But then they said, but 24 are living. Now it's 21. The number's 21. So now it's actually, we'll get Etan today. We think we're getting him today. So it's 20. So they have 20 live hostages there. The rest are dead bodies.
Mr. President, are you open to negotiating your tariffs on cars, steel, and aluminum with China or any other country?
Well, we're not even talking about that. We're bringing the business back into this country. We have commitments, not only commitments, they've already started construction on many plants. They've left Mexico in a few cases. In a few cases, they've left Canada. They're not going to build in Canada. They're going to build here because we have the market, and the tariffs have been amazing. The election and the tariffs. November 5th was a big day, and on top of that, of course, you wouldn't have the tariffs without the election, I guess, if you look at it. But we have at least 11 committed massive car factories that are going to be built, that are in the process of being built. And some are going through, some have actually started. We also have renovations of existing factories where they weren't utilizing the full factory from years gone by, and now they're under full renovation. They'll be opening up full factories in a very short period of time. Our car industry is, I think we're going to have the #1 industry. If you look at Japan and these others, they do tremendously with cars, and they can do that too. If they want to sell cars in the United States, they're going to have to build factories in the United States, because I'm interested in cars for the United States. And one other thing is, in our tax bill, we're giving not only no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime, but also we're going to get a deduction for people that borrow money to buy a car if it's made in America. If it's not, we have no interest.
A meeting between President Putin as well as President Zelensky. If President Putin doesn't show up to these talks in person in Turkey, will you join Europe in putting higher sanctions on Russia?
If I felt it would be important toward getting the deal done, I'm the one that insisted on the meeting. They couldn't get a meeting because one said ceasefire, one said no ceasefire. It was going back and forth. I said, look, at this point, we got to stop it. Just go to the meeting. The meeting's been set. Go to the meeting on Thursday. And if I thought it would be helpful,
I got you.
I don't know where I'm going to be at that particular point. I'll be someplace in the Middle East, but I would fly there if I thought it would be helpful. Yeah, please.
Back to refugees. I want to ask you about South African refugees. Dozens of Afrikaners who claim discrimination in their home country are heading to the United States, where your administration is going to welcome them as refugees. Now, this comes as you've halted virtually all refugee admissions for people fleeing famine and war from countries like Sudan and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Why are you creating an expedited path into the country for Afrikaners but not others?
Because they're being killed, and we don't want to see people be killed. Now, South Africa leadership is coming to see me, I understand, sometime
I mean, it's really, really
next week.
straightforward. It's not,
And,
it's a
you
lot
know, we're supposed to
cleaner
have
than it was on
I
Friday.
guess a G20 meeting there or
and
something,
yet I'm
but
not
we're having a
interested
G20
in
meeting. I don't
touching
know
it
how we can go
because
unless that situation's taken
because
care of.
Trump's
But
on
it's
my
a genocide that's taking
that's-
place
that's
that you people
literally
don't
the
want to
only
write about.
reason. We've
But
had
it's a terrible
really,
thing
really,
that's taking
really
place. And
nice setups. I mean, yeah,
farmers
you
are
look
being
at,
killed. They happen to be white.
We had a death
But
cross
whether they're
here. We had a death
white or
cross
black
early.
makes no difference to me. But
That's a
white
little bit early,
farmers
but again,
are
death
being
cross, death cross,
brutally
death cross.
killed, and their land is being confiscated in
Golden
South
Cross,
Africa.
lots
And the
of good
newspapers and the media, television media doesn't even talk about it. If it were the other way around, they talk about it. That would be the only story they talk about. And I don't care who they are. I don't care about their race, their color. I don't care about their height, their weight. I don't care about anything. I just know that what's happening is terrible. I have people that live in South Africa. They say it's a terrible situation taking place. So we've essentially extended citizenship to those people to escape from that violence and come here. Yeah. Please.
Mr. President,
Well,
thank you.
right now,
Are you
for days,
letting
for
China
sure,
off the
POC
hook for these
people.
90
Yeah.
days, and do you really believe that they will follow through with non-tariff barriers and remove those?
Non-monetary tariffs, yeah. Yeah, I think they're going to
was.
follow
I
through.
mean,
I
it
think
was
they want it
fine
very
for
badly. I
us.
think they want the deal
But
very
again,
badly.
the problem with
Again,
that
this
is
doesn't
we
include
don't know
the
what
steel
he's gonna
tariffs
say,
that I
man.
put on
We
a
have
long
no
time
idea.
ago that Biden tried to get off, but he couldn't get them off because it was too much money. You know, I took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China, what a lot of people don't know, but we put on the tariffs originally. And if I didn't do that, we wouldn't have a steel industry today. Now we have a thriving steel industry. It'll be thriving much more with what we're doing because this is the next level. But it doesn't include that, doesn't include cars, doesn't include pharmaceuticals when we do that. And the reason we're doing that will be to get them to come back in the country. You know, there are, again, I always say it because a lot of people forget, but if a company like Eli Lilly, which is making a massive investment in the United States right now, they're building many, many plants. They've already started like 7 of them.
Let's look at Eli Lilly.
Many
Eli
plants,
Lilly
but
is up
they are
0.63 on the,
not going to be tariffed.
0.63%
There's no tariff
on the
cost.
day.
So they're all
Yeah,
doing that.
watch
They're
this
all
thing
coming
go.
back to
I
the
mean, he
United
just
States. I
mentioned
mean,
them.
I'll
As
tell you
soon as
what,
it starts flying
I hope
out.
I get the benefit of watching this because, as president, because, you know, it takes a little while to do this stuff. And we're doing it early in the administration. If you think of it, we have, I believe, if you look at the real total, it's over $10 trillion committed for plants and factories. Other administrations haven't had $1 trillion over a 4-year period.
I say $10
even over an
trillion
8-year
for
period.
plants and factories.
We have over $10 trillion committed in one form or the other over 2 months. Give me a break. I'm here to hear 3, but let's give me a break on the first month. We want to get acclimated. But, you know, but if you think about it, it's really 2 months. And so in 2 months, we have an investment already of over $10 trillion. And other presidents haven't had that done over a year, over 4 years in some cases. It's unprecedented. There's never been anything like it. It's a very exciting time in America. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Okay. All right. That's it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. President, are you ready to impose sanctions on Russia if Putin doesn't agree with the 30-day ceasefire?
I have a feeling they're going to agree.
Still answering questions.
I do. I have a feeling.
And we think other countries,
Let's see what happens.
no European countries, involved, Mr. President, in the negotiations.
The budget bill negotiations are taking place. Who in your administration is in
Slips him a
charge?
Everybody, Bobby, from the standpoint of medical, this group behind me, I mean, I think it's the best group ever assembled. In terms of medical, I think you're going to see a tremendous cut. I don't think, I mean, I know you're going to see it in Medicaid and Medicare. That cut will be massive because drugs are 50–60% of the cost. So Medicaid costs are going down and Medicare costs are going down because of what we're doing today. And there's no, it's not like, oh, gee, well, maybe it won't happen. It's going to happen because the other countries have no choice. Now, the drug companies are going to have to say, listen, if you don't pay more, we're not going to give you the drug, and they're willing to do that. So that's it. They have to, we have to equalize.
Mr. President, what is
price controls?
Say it.
How do you respond to the fact that this?
It's not price control, no. What was, price control is before. If you want to talk about, price control is what they were doing. They were making us pay. They set a price, and they said, here's what we're going to pay, and anything else charge America. Because at that time they had a very stupid president, and it really went crazy during the last 4 years. And remember this, the Democrats are the ones that allowed this to happen. They were the ones that were the protector of this pricing system. And I think it's going to be very hard. You'll have to ask Democrats, are they going to vote against the one great, big, beautiful deal that's being negotiated now, tax cuts, etc. We're now on top of the tax cuts and regulation cuts, all the things. Now you're going to say that the price of your medicine is going down by 60, 70, 80%. You're going to vote against it? I think a lot of Democrats are going to be forced to do something that their leaders are going to beg them not to do, and that's vote for the bill. I don't see how they can vote against it. How can they vote against it when drug prices, drugs and pharmaceuticals are going to be down 70, 80%? It's going to be very interesting.
Mr. President, what do you say to people who view that luxury jet as a personal gift to you? Why not leave it behind?
You're ABC fake news, right?
Why not leave
only ABC, well, a few of you would. Let me tell you, you should be embarrassed asking that question. They're giving us a free jet. I could say, no, don't give us, I want to pay you $1 billion or 400 million or whatever it is. Or I could say, thank you very much. You know, there was an old golfer named Sam Snead. Did you ever hear of him? He won 82 tournaments. He was a great golfer. And he had a motto, when they give you a putt.
That is so true.
You say, thank you very much. You pick up your ball and you walk to the next hole. A lot of people are stupid. They say, no, I insist on putting it. Then they putt it and they miss it.
Majority go nowhere. That's
and their partner gets angry at them. You know what? Remember that, Sam Snead. When they give you a putt, you pick it up and you walk to the next hole and you say, thank you very much.
Respectfully, sir, as a businessman, some people may look at this and say, have you ever been given a gift worth millions of dollars and then not received
anything? It's not a gift to me, it's a gift to the Department of Defense. And you should know better, because you've been embarrassed enough, and so has your network. Your network is a disaster. ABC is a disaster. Here is the bill. Bobby, come on over here. Now you're talking about trillions and trillions of dollars.
You are so much more than I do.
Thank you very much, everybody.
All right, folks, again, trying to get through this at 580-14,
Thank you very much.
And no more questions, and he is out of here. Okay, perfect. Perfect, folks. That is a good thing. All right, now we are back to trading, folks, back to trading. So we don't have to worry about that anymore. We really don't have anything else going on today. So at this point, yeah, let's just trade. What do you say, guys? What do you say? I'm going to stay on YouTube Live for one more play, folks, and then, so if we can get one more trade in here, or one trade, give the folks just a little bit about what we do. And again, this level here, it's only here because of this reason right here. It's a pre-market level. It's kind of an effective range. If we get above that, we'll use that as support. So let's see what we do right here. Again, there's nothing major about it other than it was a pre-market level. I generally don't worry about pre-market levels, but today I did because we haven't been here for a while, for a fat minute. And again, we're rejecting out of that 580.14, 580.14 right now, folks. Have my ear. So Chris, what is the dollar amount attached to, let's say, the average drug in research and development? What is the average? And I suppose I could Google that, but I'm just asking you to see if you know how much it costs to bring the average drug to market, because you're going to take all the winners and all the losers in there too. So what does it take? What do it take? All right, folks, again, we're rejecting out of 580.14, 580.14. So let's see what we do. Let's see if we can pull back to this POC find support, maybe get a fresh cross directly off of this POC, take that back to the upside, and then let this thing scream. 5 minutes, there it is. So it's really thin up here. Above this next level, 30-minute looks like this. So you can see, yeah, it's super thin. It's super thin. 1 hour, we should get, yeah, we got some more. It's really thin up here. Anyway you slice it, folks, the volume is really, really thin up above this level, 580.14, 580.14. And on the daily, we have to get to 581.73. 581.73 becomes very, very super thin up there. To market usually takes 10 years and $2 billion, 10 years to market. That's crazy. 10 years to get something to market. Wow. 10 years, $2 billion. So that means, so it takes the winners 10 years and $2 billion. How about the losers? How much money is spent on losing, pharmaceuticals? That's going to be the big one. I would think far more money is spent on losing on drugs that don't make it to market than drugs that do make it to market, you would think. So they can have you take it and we'll kill. Yeah, well, that's, hey, not arguing. The fewer the better, folks. Diet and exercise. Diet and exercise. The biggest killers out there, folks, are number one. What is it, guys? You already know what it is. It's heart disease. That's what it is. Heart disease, diabetes, all those things, which a lot of those things can be controlled with diet and exercise. Some can't, no doubt. All right, again, folks, let's see what we do right here at the POC. See if we can find good support. Yeah, that's so true, Lionel. And again, look for support right here, 570, you're right on the POC, 579.23, 579.23. Opposite to have no more vaccinations after your daughter had a reaction to her first round. I got you. My daughter had a nasty negative adverse reaction to the Gardasil. It was horrible. She stopped breathing. Yeah, literally that fast. Yep. Depends on where they fall in the timeline. Further along, the worse. Yep. 60th investigation. Wow. So you have 60 investigational drugs right now, and one will get through the FDA. Wow. So 60 to 1. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Again, folks, diet and exercise. Diet and exercise. And don't smoke. That's bad. And you guys know my stance on drinking. Anyway, that's just me. That's personally. You do what you're going to do. All right, folks, again, we're getting through that POC. This is what I'm looking for. Okay, support right here at 578.93. You can see this thin volume below this area, folks. Again, 578.93 down here. If we get through, if we don't, or if the market does not defend this area right in here, folks, it's a fast drop. So again, we're going to watch this area really, really closely. 578.93, 578.93. If we find support, which is that's what I'm looking to do right here again, folks, 578.93. If we find support and go back the other way, let's see if we can take through that 580.14. And again, we got right to that ledge. It's beautiful. That's why we use, and again, this is for the folks out in YouTube land, this is why we use volume profile right here because of that. Now, if you're looking left, 100% diet and exercise, Ruben, yep. If you are looking left right now, you're thinking, hey, we don't have anything like a double bottom on a 1 minute or anything like that to use as support. Yeah, if you're looking way left from earlier, yeah, you got support right there. But we use this volume shelf, okay? So we use this volume shelf so they can defend this area. And again, more defense to the upside at this point. So again, if we can hold on to this level right here, 578.93, and then get a close above that POC, working on a doji on that last candle. Watch the POC, it's resistance right now. See if we can get back above it. So puts are starting to become in peril right in here, folks. So again, if we get that close over this level, over the POC, then we can see if we can get the old golden cross to the upside. And again, 578 directly above the POC, folks. Let's see what she does. 578.93. Come on, baby. If you've ever wondered whatever became of me. And again, a close above, close above, close above. You're jumping this thing if you're getting in. You're jumping it directly off of the POC, folks. Directly off of the POC. Again, pre-define your risk. When we jump a trade before we get that cross, folks, it has the highest potential value. But your expected value isn't as high because, again, you are not taking it off the 920, but you're taking it off of a major level. And again, we're going to wait. Okay, so we got that close. We got that close right at that level, folks. Now, let's see if we can get a golden cross back to the upside. Golden cross to the upside. Again, all right. Again, we found good support on that 93, 578.93, and we're rejecting off of VWAP. Okay, so we're rejecting off of VWAP. So at this point, we are going to wait. We are going to wait. So we see exactly what's going on. And again, reject off of VWAP. We got the 9, we got the 20. Still in play in calls as long as we're above 93, folks. So if you're looking for multiple areas of stop, here are our stops. Our get out of jail, where you have to take yourself out of calls, is 578.93. In my opinion, you got that shelf down below, and it's really, really super thin. So let's see if we can get a golden cross, which is going to be, we're above the VWAP. That's going to be a major level. So 920 and VWAP all on one candle will give us a golden cross to the upside. And then we will have 5 different levels of support. All right, so this is the only thing that's holding us back right now. Right now, again, trying to get above VWAP. Once we get above VWAP, and it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes into the trade off of that support on 93, support on 93, and get a close and go, close and go, close and go. And again, then we'll have 4 different levels of risk. Actually 5. We got VWAP, we got the 20, we got the 9, we got the POC, and way down here at 93. At 93, you're literally 60 cents away from that stop. That's a massive, massive, massive stop. So in my opinion, the stop needs to be 579.21 for calls. But again, once we get above that VWAP, we're going to have 4. We're going to have VWAP, we're going to have the 20, the 9, and ultimately 579.21. So again, we're going to be 4 minutes, getting ready to be 4 minutes into this play right in here, folks. 4 minutes in, and calls are still safe, marginally safe, as long as we're above these levels right here, folks. And watch your skinny stick back to the upside. And see, we're getting rejected by the VWAP right now, and see if we can get a close. A close above gives us another entry on this particular play, and then we can use the VWAP. So you get the VWAP, you got the 20, you got the 9, and the POC way down here as your different levels of risk. It's all about where are you setting your risks. So predefine it before you ever put on the play. Predefine, predefine, predefine. We got about 28, 29 seconds or 25 seconds at this point to determine whether we're going to get into this trade or not, folks. Again, yeah, we do have a little bit of structure right over here at 76. Not so much worried about it. If we can serpentine and get above, serpentine and get above. Again, we got the POC. Yeah, so we're rejecting out of that area. It's still rejecting, still rejecting. Close above VWAP, folks. That's what we're looking for. Close above VWAP. And again, you got 4 different levels of risk directly below you. All right, let's see if we can make this thing go, 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 go. We're looking for a skinny stick back to the upside, skinny stick back to the upside, folks. And again, through 76, and we are going to go. Come on, baby, do your thing. And again, we have 4 different levels of risk. And again, above 76, and we got that 14. 76 should give us 14, 14, and we should fly. 14, and we should fly. Come on, baby, get a close above. Get a close above, and again, we're above everything we need to be above, and we're just looking left just a little bit, just a smidge. Now, if we were really moving up on the day at this point, what we would do is we would not even worry about this structure right here at 76. But for right now, we've got to worry about that structure because we don't have any direction back to the upside as of yet. So again, we're getting rejected out of that area right now. Still no confirmed cross to the upside. Hey, Sherry, 200 is right above VWAP. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. So we're going to use the 20. So now we no longer have 4, we have 5. 920 POC VWAP and the 200. And again, it's just a rejection zone right out of that level right there. So this is a recapture. Now let's come back to the downside. Again, we're going to watch 93. So 578 and 93 right in here, folks. Right in here. And it is just after 11 o'clock on the Eastern Seaboard. Just after 11 o'clock on the Eastern Seaboard, folks. And hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you are having a great day. The things that I say on the live broadcast, folks, they are just my opinion. It is not anything that I say. I never offer up any type of financial advice. The things that I see are my opinion. Last thing, most of your project is terminated. Development started January, terminated mid-April. A project cost of, well, that's not bad, $538,000. That's not bad at all. All right, here we go, folks. Again, finding support at that 93. Didn't even get down there. We're looking for another golden cross to the upside, folks. A golden cross to the upside is going to give, it's everything all rolled up into one. 920, POC, VWAP, and we got the 200 right up here also, folks. So again, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Wait for your candle closes. Wait for your candle closes. I think we're going to push. Again, let's look at, yeah, okay. All right, we got the 2-day. We got the 2-day POC right here, folks. It's right here. The 1-day and the 2-day POCs are literally right on top of each other right now. Let me confirm. That's wrong. Yep, 1-day and 2-day POC. That's it's fair market value at this point, folks. Fair market value at this area. Fair market value at this area. Come on, baby, give it a push, push, push. So in other words, we are bunched up tight right now, folks. 9, 20, POC, 1-day POC, 2-day POC. We got the 200 right here. So we're bunched. We are bunched. If you're in calls, set your stops, folks. If you're in puts, set your stops. So always, always, always set your, or predefine your risk before you put on the trade. If you don't, you're gambling. We don't like to do that, except for Pete. Except for Pete. Pete had 4 calls, and he did very, very well on his calls overnight. And again, rejecting back to the downside, rejecting back to the downside. We're going to watch this 93 level again right in here. 578.93. You can see the thin volume down below. Thin volume down below. Sherry, by the way, I sent you that text message yesterday. Did you get that? Did you get that text message? And what did you think about that? What did you think? And again, 578.93, 578.93. Come on, baby. I did watch it until the end. I did. I did. I thought I did. But I saw that and I thought of you, so I had to share it with you. Well, I didn't have to. I wanted to, because you're my good friend. And again, 578.93, 578.93. Watch for the break, watch for the break, watch for the break, folks. Can I tell everybody the situation, Sherry? Do you mind? Do you mind if I will? And that way they're like, what are you talking about? Okay. So so Sherry, folks, okay. Sherry has Lyme disease. And for those of you that don't know, Lyme disease is not benign. Lyme disease is one of the most insidious, nasty, long-term chronic illnesses or diseases that one will ever have. It is horrible. It is horrible. You know, Sherry shared with me, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years ago, something like that, 90-minute video or something like that to watch, and I watched it, and it was just, it's horrible. Lyme disease is just unimaginably horrible. So yesterday I was, I don't know why, but I was checking a YouTube short or something like that, and this lady also, and again, we're trying to get above the 2-day POC and the 1-day POC right in here, folks. This lady had Lyme disease, and she was stung, what, 300 times by Africanized killer bees. and it cured her Lyme disease. So that's why Sherry said, where do I find a hive of African killer bees to sting me? If you know, I'll go. So anyway, that's the reason for that. So I hopefully, well, you know what? Hopefully they can, you know, get the venom and make a cure. That would be awesome. That would be absolutely awesome. And again, folks, watch 93 right in here, folks. Watch 93, so 578.93, 578.93. They've defended it. They've defended this area. You might want to go to Africa. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was literally a hive of African honeybees. I think I called them Africanized. Whatever. All right, folks, again, we're trying to get that golden cross to the upside again. We keep on finding support on 578.93. So we're going to assume, at least for right now, folks, that 578.93 is good support. And again, all those out in YouTube, this is what we do every single day. We call these levels out and we call these plays out every single day. And we talk about what I see and what the group sees. And from an anticipation standpoint, what we can anticipate. Again, we got down to that 578.93, 578.93. We're still trying to get over the VWAP. So we got that double cross to the upside. Double cross, we open below the 9, close above the 20. Open below the 9, close above the 20. That's a double cross to the upside. Still getting stopped by the by the VWAP. So we have 1, 2, 3 green lights. We have 3 green lights, but we have a big red light right here. 2 big red lights at VWAP and the 200 right there. So there's our red lights. Once we get past those, this thing is going to potentially just go back to the upside. And again, it's trying to get a close over a couple of levels. So ultimately above 579.77, 579.77. Come on, baby, do your thing. And again, we are still on. I'm going to stay on YouTube for the duration of this particular trade. And again, we're trying to go through 579.77 to the upside. At that point, I think she's going to, if she gets through there, and we're probably sitting right on that 200 or bumping our head right on that 200 right now. If we can get through there, I'm looking for all points north, all points north. And again, we have the same level of risk in here, folks. Again, so we have, make it a PYG. We will try to make it a PYGB for the people. That is one of those things that we say when it really starts to get printing. And it's PYGB. We like that. PYG. Print, you glorious B. You guys can figure out that last word. And again, we're still getting rejected out of that area. So, yeah. Nothing here, nothing here. So we're stuck, at least in the short term, you know, so above 93 and below 65 in here. Watch your 9, watch your 9. See if we can find support. Use that 9 as support and then back to the upside. PYGB for the people. And again, it's support on the 9. Come on, baby, do your thing. And again, still could move to the downside. Don't know. And again, support on 93, support on 93. And again, we use the 920 to generate those buy and sell signals, but at the same time, we use major levels. We have to use major levels out of which to take our trades. If we don't, there's so much randomness in the market. We can't trade randomness. It just doesn't make any sense to trade randomness. So don't do it. And again, folks, support down here at 93. Come on, just get a little push and close and get that close. A nice close above. Let's see what volume is doing. Volume's decent. Volume's decent. It's certainly not as high as it could be. It's not as low as it could be either. And I'm kind of looking at this. I've got to get through VWAP. Come on, baby. Just get through VWAP. IV is dropping. That's so. If you're in calls right now, and the fact that IV is dropping, that's, and again for YouTube land, IV is called implied volatility. As IV drops, the value of your contracts necessarily follow the drop in IV. So the underlying can be moving in your favor, the underlying, specifically SPY or SPX or whatever you're trading. If IV goes down but the underlying is still going up in value, you can lose value in your options contracts. So we need three things. We need volume, it's fine. We need volatility, it's dropping. And we need range. We need those three things: volume, volatility, and range. With those three things right there, folks, we can do exceptionally well. And again, we're going to watch 93 down here and watch 93. This thin volume area, if they quit defending this, they can just absolutely slam this thing, just a slam clam to the downside, or a clam slam back to the downside. 578.93, 578.93. I'm just rhyming words right now, folks. The 50. So we got everything. Where's the 50, Sherry? What's the specific number? 579.01. Oh, that's crazy. Okay, so we've got, all right, so let's count them. 9, 20, 1-day POC, 2-day POC, VWAP. There's 5, and then we have the 200, and we have the 50. We have 7 things. We have 7 things right here within like 50 cents. 50, 60 cents of each other. Are you kidding me? What's up, Santos? That is a recipe to just get destroyed in your position. If you are hungry and need to go eat something for lunch, go eat something for lunch. If you miss a play, big deal. It's like missing a bus. You miss a bus, we'll get another one. Let's hear your old lady observation. And Sherry, you're younger than I am, so let's hear your old lady. By the way, Sherry, I am live on YouTube right now. Not that that makes a difference, but what is your old lady? Your quiet time? Your old lady observation, old lady. You're not old. Just getting started. So, guys, right now, we're talking about kind of a no trade zone. We're kind of in that right now, folks. It's tight. Yep. Super tight. 5 minute is, yeah, it is really tough. 5 minute looks like that. There we go. CPI is tomorrow. Yes. It's typically on Wednesday, so I was thinking it was on Wednesday, and it was like, okay, it's tomorrow. Seen several times where the data is leaked. Yes. Yes, I do remember it. Yeah, not financial, just to keep heads on a swivel. Yeah, so Sherry, we do remember that. We remember those times when the CPI data is leaked, and the market, and it's 2 o'clock Eastern, and the market goes absolutely bananas. Hey, Aries, what's going on? Better every day, my friend. Better every day. So good to see you, my friend. Also, when they change the release date, weird things. They do. We do. So let's check out volume here real quick. See what volume. Look at that. We got a lot of volume on that, on the stick that we are printing right now, folks. We're up to 301,000. Something is afoot. Something is afoot. I mean, your foot is afoot, but yeah, you guys know. It's like changing the release time. They had something last week that what did they change? Oh, it was, what was it? Again, coming on down, coming on down. We're getting through that 93, folks. Okay, so we're breaking out, we're breaking out. There we go, breaking out, back to the downside, folks. All right, here we go. PMI. It was PMI. Was it PMI? No, PMI is Thursday. I think it's PMI. No, it was PCE. Personal Consumer Expenditures. PCE. That's what it was. Confirm that. Yep, there we go. All right. Yep, so we got CPI, I believe, tomorrow, and PMI Thursday. Maybe Wednesday. All right, folks, again, there we go. We're getting that move. You got that volume. We got that volume that poured in just a minute ago. 378,000, which is going to be the number top five candle of the day. Right in there. Top 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Top 4 candle. And again, coming down, 578.24, 578.24, folks. Again, the only reason that these lines are on here right now is they are not major levels, but what they are is they are 5-minute zones that we established in pre-market. Normally, I don't really care about pre-market lines, but today I do, only because we had a massive gap up. I got you, Chris. I got you, my friend. My daughter's watching me on YouTube. What's up? All right, folks, again, getting through that line right now, 578.24, 578.24 cents. I know what she's thinking right now, too. Again, here we go. 5-minute looks like that, folks. There we go. So we're going to double bottom on the 5 right here at 577.81. See if we can get through it. Okay, so this level right here, this 578.24, this is kind of our effective range from pre-market if we look left just a smidge. So if we look left over here, kind of our effective rate, we had pre-market low sitting at 571.11, but nevertheless, yeah, kind of the effective rate or the effective zone right here, 578.24, 578.24 cents. Oh, my son's watching too. My son is watching too. What's up? Yeah, it's kind of cool. Kind of cool to have your kids watching you on YouTube on a YouTube live. So, what's up? All right, folks. Again, 578.24, 578.24. And again, 5-minute looks like that, folks. There it is. So it's the question is, did we pick up enough buyers? And in your 30-minute, yeah, we'll see. So puts are starting again. We found really good support. How can we embarrass you in front of your kids, Sherry? You can literally, yeah, your kids can only watch you on YouTube. Yeah, they no. I can promise you, yeah, that's awesome. How can you embarrass me in front of you? I don't think you can. I really don't think, I mean, you could, but I don't know if you can. You can try. You can do anything you want. All right. And again, support right here, folks. Support right in here. But I do make them pay the membership and yeah, all that kind of good stuff. Yeah, they're mostly off of the payroll. Mostly off of the payroll. 5-minute chart price is closed 200 moving. Yes, round number. Are we expecting a bounce? I still like this 578.24, Aries. I still like this 578.24 only because yeah, we'll look at that 5-minute again. Aries is talking about that 5-minute. I like this level of support. You can see all this that we had just above So at about 578.81. So again, let's see if we can find support right here and then ram it back to the upside. Again, it's kind of our effective low on pre-market this morning. And again, we'll look at the 5-minute on that. You can see all this area right in here. That's at 30. 5 is right there. There you go. All right. You have a very long time before your kids are off the payroll. Yeah, I get it, man. Trust me, I get it. All right, and again, still 578.24, 578.24 in here, folks. 578.24, and again, we're going to stay on YouTube Live for the duration of the rest of this play, not for the duration of anything, but the rest of this play. All right, again, found really good support. So really good support. If you're jumping this thing, it's got a high potential value back to the upside. Your expected value is still a little bit low. Again, we're in that fishtail trying to get through that 20 right now, and then the POC. Watch your POC, and we got the 1 and the 2-day POC sitting right up in here, folks. All right. Again, reject right out of, didn't even get to the POC, but again, we got the 1 and the 2-day POC right on top of each other right now. And I know Sherry is still trying to figure out how to embarrass me in front of my kids, and I don't know if it's possible. You got nothing. All right. I feel much better after the big loss on 5-6. 3 days, very diligent trades with clear entry, exit have made up. Jason, that is good stuff. So Jason just says he's feeling much better after the big loss on 5-6. 3 days of very diligent trades with clear entry, stop, and exit criteria. Man, that's perfect. You've made up 30% of the loss. Good. So I'm going to have you change something, just tweak it just a little bit, Jason. Talking about making up for the loss. I get it. It's human. It's natural human emotions to want to look at it like we're making up for the loss. And I get it. It makes sense. You know, hey, I lost $1,000. I made $300 back. I get that. I totally get that. But at the same time, and again, this is just my opinion. It's just how I tend to look at it. Once that money's gone, it's gone forever. We're just making new money. And I know you understand that, but I absolutely understand what you're saying. For a lot of people, not you specifically, but for a lot of people, when they say, okay, I only have $700 to make up. So I have $700 to make up. That can and often does lead to people revenge trading. And I know it's not you. I know it's not you. But for some people it can. So, but anyway, that's just my opinion. But excellent. Good work, man. Good. And I like the fact that you said 3 days of very diligent trades with clear entry, stop, and exit criteria. That's just, what else is there, man? I mean, it's a job. You know, we're watching lines on a screen. Did our edge present itself, yes or no? When our edge presented itself, did we take the trade, yes or no? It's binary. It's an on-off switch. It's yes or it's no. That's it. That's all it is. But good job. Good job. Excellent job, my friend. You guys getting huge. Oh, you guys are going to be smoking hot this week because it's going to be 95 here on Wednesday. It's going to be probably, what, close to 100 down in H-Town. All right, folks, again, watch this play back to the upside. Again, we have support down at 24. Trying to get through both the POCs. So we had a couple of red candles in a row in the fishtail, folks. So in the fishtail, looking to get a close above. That's it. So he just said, well, I know I left money on the table. Okay. Told myself I'm getting in on this and exiting there as no probabilities were high. There you go. That's it right there. Entry, exit, stop. Have a plan for everything. Jason, that is awesome. Everybody give it up for Jason. Dr. Pimper. Good job, man. Seriously, good job. All right, again, try to get through the POC, the 1 and the 2 day right in here, folks. And again, once we get above that, we're above a couple things. So we got a couple of green lights. And if you took calls directly off that 578.24, got to get above the 1 and the 2 day POC right in here, folks. All right, here we go. This candle of truth right here, folks. This is indeed the candle of truth. This is going to be 3 minutes into this particular trade because, again, we got those red candles. That kind of resets. That gets the reset. And, again, trying to get a close above right in here. Come on, baby, do your thing. And, again, 1 day and 2 day POCs holding us back. Those are holding us back right now. What's up, Jax? Good to see you today, my friend. Good to see you today, my friend. Okay, here we go. I mean, we are literally right at that 1 and 2 day POC right here. Good morning. Good to see you, Jax. Good to see you. Hope you had a good weekend. Did some cool stuff. All right, guys. All right. He's the Shade Tree Quant. He's the Rain Man. Yeah, about $100. Wapner. Yeah, Charlie Babbitt. Charlie Babbitt. Can I share a screenshot of what I'm talking about the CPI? Yes. Yeah, please do. Please share a screenshot. Absolutely. Yep, please share it. And again, we're getting rejected by that 2 day POC, folks. So we got the 1 and 2 day POC sitting on top of each other. Again, reject, reject, reject. Right at that level. So I'm supposed to do something because my daughter said, are you going to say something to embarrass me? I probably should. Oh, there it is. Oh, look at that. There it is, June 9, 2022. Yes, like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Oh, that was just awesome. That was awesome. How can we embarrass him? You cannot embarrass me. Well, you probably could, but remember, I can delete your comments, but I won't. Oh, thank you for sharing that. Sherry, I know we do remember that day. That was madness. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I know. Yeah, Bolo, so be on the lookout. Be on the lookout. Again, folks, trying to get across through 1 day and the 2 day POC right in here, folks. 1 and 2 day POC. Come on, baby. We just want to give them one of those bangers so we can call this thing out. So my daughter, she's still wondering if I'm going to say something to embarrass her. I could just start calling her Chief because she likes that a whole lot. That's what the neighborhood kids used to call her, Chief, because, yeah, she acted like a chief. Okay, Chief. There you go. As good as it gets right there, kid. All right. She was bossy. That is not Frank's mother. Frank's mother, that's Allie. Frank's mother, they live in Washington, D.C. This is Ashland. Ashland lives basically Broken Arrow, which is a 20-minute drive from me. Yep. But everybody remembers Frank. Everybody remembers my granddaughter, Frank. She was in here one day, and I asked her which way the market was going to go. And I said, is it going to go up or down? And whatever she said, that's what the market did. And that was really, really cool. That was cool. All right, so we're right at that 1 day and 2 day POC again, folks. 1 day, 2, 1 day. And we got a little volume, a little bit of volume on the last couple of candles. So we had, oh, you're informed. You're not bossy. You're not bossy. You are informed. I got you. I love you too, kid. And again, 166, yeah, a little bit better than normal. We got to get through this area. We need our oracle. We do. We've got another oracle coming up. That's my granddaughter, Jacqueline. That's Jack. Jack, if you're watching right now. Hi, Jack. Hi, Jack. she's got to be watching. If her mom's watching, she's watching too. So, what's up, Jack? So she's another smart one. She's a smart one. She's about 2.5. And again, we keep on getting rejected, right out of that 1-day and 2-day POC, folks. So again, we have multiple things at this area. 920 POC, 920, 1-day POC, 2-day POC. We got the VWAP, we got the 20, and we got the 50. 7 things. This is 7, this is 9. Okay. 7 things right here, folks. Again, when we're, you got 50 cents, you got 7 things within 50 cents of each other. Kind of just looking to get kind of just smushed, smashed. $5.79.33 up here, folks. Come on, give it a push, give it a push. We're above that 9 right now. We are above the 9, folks. Yeah, it's not doing much though. Come on, baby, do your thing. Lewis, looking good, Lewis. Again, we just need to get a punch through this area right in here. Yeah, so we got that 20 right now sitting right on that ledge. So if you're, for those in calls, anybody in calls right now, you got a couple of different levels of support. You got the 9, you're directly above the 9. You got the 20 down here at 78.94. So you get 25, 30 cents worth of stop in this particular play. And again, trying to get a candle that gets us a close above the 1 and 2 day POC, and then you got the 200 right there. And yeah, so it's tighter than a frog's booty right now, folks. Tighter than a frog's, yeah. Words I've never spoken before in my life. All right, here we go, folks. All right, there's a massive, not so massive, but a good size double cross to the downside, folks. Double cross to the downside. Look at this. This is either it's either going to be a really, really nice move to the downside, or this is it's a double cross, but really, really nice move, or a big shaker outer candle. We're looking for a close below 78.57. So 78.57, folks. Again, wait for your close, Make sure you're breaching the things back to the downside if you're looking for puts, the things that you need to be below. All right, again, so that's double cross the downside, folks. Double cross. All right, folks, again, double cross to the downside right off of 2 major levels. Double cross to the downside, but yeah, the only thing, you got that buyer's tail on the bottom of that stick right here. 1139, yeah, and that's our level. We need to stay below 578.56. We got a skinny one coming in right now, folks. Look for the breach of 78.24. 578.24 back to the downside, folks. Again, if you're in calls, you're in really, really big peril right now, depending on when you got into those. Candle of truth right in here, folks. This is it. 578.24, 578.24. And again, as soon as this play is over, this particular play right here, Whether we go up or down or whatever, I will chop. I will close out the video, the YouTube, because again, we've been on for almost 2.5 hours at this point. So yeah. And again, 578.24, 578.24. So everybody out there in YouTube land, thank you for being here. So again, if we can get a good play, good sustained play back to the downside, we will stay here. Again, for right now, this is support. Again, we're finding it right there. We got that tail back to the downside. And if you're looking to jump this thing back to the upside, your support is right here, folks. The support is right here. Again, 578.24. All right, so if we can be range bound between, let's say, 78.24 and, yeah, it's $1. I mean, if we knew that we were just going to be range bound, 78.24 to, 79.25, we could just scalp this thing, $1 scalps all day long today, and just go to the bank, because we will take a $1 range. Just, go long off the bottom, fade it off the top. That would be absolutely amazing. And again, right here at this level, 578.24. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Sherry. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I do not have Heikanashis. No, I don't see tails. We don't have, well, we don't have a tail on the bottom of those last two sticks. No tails. We just kissed that bottom level at 578.24. So no Heikan. I could turn on Heikanashis. It'd be kind of fun. There you go. There's your Heikan. Look at that. Interestingly enough, the Heikanashis have tails on them. Crazy. Oh, you're still on the 5. Lots of tails on the 5. Yeah, I see them. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. All right, folks, you're going to get rejected by the 9 right now. Rejected by the 9. Again, if you went long off that 78.24, long off 78.24. Try to get above the 20. Trying to get above the 20. If you're long, that's your stop. If you're in puts, if you're short off the top, we got to that level where that's a take profit level. Now, if you're just going to use that 9 and say, okay, I'm going to stay in this trade until the 9, we got rejected off the 9, so let's see if we can push it back down to the downside. And again, we're still talking about that effective range from this morning, basically the bottom from earlier in pre-market. Hi, Jack. She just said hi, Pop. That is so awesome. Hi, Jack. So awesome. Not gonna lie, I kind of like the Heikan-ashi candles. Heikan-ashi candles are awesome. Yeah, it really, really cuts down the noise. The Heikan-ashi candles cut down the noise. If you're in one of those good trend days, where it's $5, $6, $7, $8 runs, turn on your Heikan-ashi candles. They are much, much less likely to kind of get you the heart attack feeling, get out of that trade when you're supposed to be in it. So, yeah. All right, here we go, folks. Here we go, here we go, here we go. I said 3 times, but that doesn't mean you get into a trade. You got a fishtail, you got a fishtail right in here, folks. I'm going to show you the 5-minute again. Let's see, there's your 5-minute right there. It is what it is. There's your 5-minute, folks. Exotic and throw this. Renkos. Who doesn't like the good old Renkos? All right. We can use some Renkos. There you go. Building blocks. Building blocks. There you go. Renko. Renko's really kind of cool. The only press just different. Renko. Or we could just do sticks. Bars. There you go. That's some old school stuff right there. All right, there we go. Hi, folks. Again, we're below that 9. I'm kind of trying to get into the fishtail. You know, not a whole lot going on in here. Not much. And again, just like Sherry was talking about, we have CPI day tomorrow, folks. CPI day is tomorrow. Choppy no bueno. I agree. You know, the good news is, the really, really good thing is we know we have some good support at 78.24. That's really good. So you can take that and you can go long off 74, at least for right now. And it's a moderately high probability play. Again, you know, early in the day we got there, we came down below it. You know, when Trump was on, they was talking about all the pharmaceutical stuff right in here. Now at this point, we're just trying to get up to that 1 and 2 day POC. 1 and 2 day POC. Now reject off the 20 right now, folks. So with that, guys, I'm going to go eat lunch. I mean, if you guys are cool with that, I'm going to go eat my lunch. I am going to kill, I'm not going to kill anything. I'm going to stop the YouTube stream. Been doing that for coming up on 3 hours, 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 45 minutes, something like that. So for everybody out there in YouTube land, thank you for watching. This is what we do every single day in the best damn Discord in the world. It is called 920 Trading. The link for that is down below. So if you don't have a trading home, or you have a trading home and you're looking for a new trading home, you need to come check us out. Seriously, we are so convinced and so persuaded that we will make you a better trader and establish a tremendous amount of value for what we do. We will give you that first week for free. Again, what do you have to lose? Absolutely nothing. A little bit of your time. Again, the link for that is down below. It's called 920. What else? It's 920 Trading. I am Paul. I am the 920 Trader. But yeah, come check us out. Our community as a whole is very, very, very welcoming. If you have a question, there are so many people that are just willing to help out brand new members. If you have a question, feel free to reach out to anybody in the community, myself included, obviously. But anyway, everybody out there in YouTube land, thank you for spending a little bit of time with us today. And to my kids, thanks for being there. To my granddaughter, good to see you, Jack. I hope everybody has a great rest of the day. You guys know the rest. I will see you guys. I will catch you guys, and I will see you guys in the markets. All right, let's stop the recording. All right, there we go. We're good.